Happy Friday, Nashville. Next man up, 1025. The Game. Jake Lyman, Connor Newt, Parker Kelly, broadcasting live from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. And starting this week and moving forward, we are going to be joined at 9 a.m. on Fridays by Max Hers from Preds Radio. We are thrilled to have Max with us. He's with us from 9 to 9:30 today, but with the season starting next week, 9 to 10 every Friday, Max will be with us talking Predators. Excited for it. Max, thanks for coming on.
Hi, guys. Yeah, excited to be a part of it. Opening night less than a week away, next Thursday night. And I was thinking about it. I think hockey might be the only sport where next man up is never said as a cliche.
That is true.
But we got enough pucks in deep, short shifts. We got enough to make up for it.
I love it. Yes. And cannot believe the Pred season is 6 days away. I've said it before, the hockey offseason flies by faster than any other one. It feels like the playoffs end and it feels like, boom, we're right back. So excited to get going. Next Thursday night at Bridgestone Arena, Preds are going to be on the ice for game one of the new season. Again, every Friday, 9 to 10, moving forward, 9 to 9:30 today, we will have Max Hers on to talk all things Predators. Max, you've been out there at practice. You've been calling the preseason games. What's been kind of the early returns on this Predators team? Obviously a disappointing year last year, but plenty of talent on this roster to take a big step forward this season.
Yeah, I think the biggest change, Jake, is vibes are better. Everybody's taking a deep breath. Expectations are off. And the team, truthfully, isn't that different than last year. So that may be the thing that makes the biggest difference. But you've also got the young guys making a push. Brady Martin, who is 18 and a half years old, fifth overall pick in the draft this summer, right off the farm in Elora, Ontario, Canada. He is still here. He is playing in the top six. He actually has been playing top line center in practice the last couple of days, with Ryan O'Reilly playing some wing and Philip Forsberg alongside those guys. So as of now, unless things change with the two big missing variables that are Matt Wood, who had done everything to guarantee he was going to make the team as a 20-year-old, but got hurt last week and has not returned since. He could be back by opening night. But if Matt Wood's not healthy and Luke Evangelista still hasn't signed his contract, I think it's pretty much 100% that Brady Martin will make his NHL debut next Thursday. And you got Joakim Kimmel playing in the top six, too, with Steven Stamkos on the second line. And you got a battle on the fourth line. Ozzy Weisblatt is pushing.
Wow. And you look at this team and everybody points to the veterans and all the big name free agent signings that you made a year ago, but those young guys could really be the difference. I mean, all the guys you just mentioned, Fedor Svechkov looks like he might be able to take a big step forward. I do have to say, just quick tangent, that Fedor Svechkov interviews are my favorite of anybody out there. What was it this week? I felt it in my soul. I needed a white stick. Was that what he said?
So his stick, I mean, a white stick already stands out, and a decent amount of guys in the NHL have them, but it stands out. His is white with like holographic shining part.
Oh, wow.
All the way up the handle. Yeah.
He just sounds like Ivan Drago.
I saw that quote and I was like, that is just a hilarious thing to say, but it's not the first time he said something like that. Like he's just a like very blunt, like funny guy. And I love it. So the young guys clearly going to be a big part of this team. And Brady Martin, I mean, from being the fifth overall pick and, you know, the reaction from Preds fans, we talked about it a couple weeks ago when you were on, was not overwhelmingly excited for Brady Martin in number 5. But I think throughout the offseason, as they've seen him on the ice more, there's a lot of excitement about what this young kid could do, especially if he makes the team right off the bat.
Yeah, and there have been bigger reaches in the top 5 in the NHL draft in recent years. Like the Ducks picked this guy, Beckett Seneca, 2 years ago, who people remember they showed on TV. And like he was shocked that he was picked in the top 3. And a lot of teams wanted Brady Martin. Utah was linked to him at 4 for a long, long time. A lot of people, you can make an argument for James Higgins, who we're not going to see in the NHL this year, and maybe at the end if he leaves college right away, but he's in college right now, so he's not playing. But Martin has held his own in camp. He had 2 goals in the preseason game against the Lightning. He had an assist as well. And the thing that I'm really starting to see in practice as this week you get down to the NHL group and the guys competing for those spots, because the first couple weeks, it's 3 practices a day. It's a lot going on, and guys are just getting their feet under him. But the thing you see with Martin with the NHL group, he's in the right place almost all the time. He has a nose for the puck. He has a nose for the net. He gets shots off. He creates in tight space. A lot of the things that the Preds need to do a lot more of on offense last year. And his shot is good enough to compete at the NHL level. And he can do some playmaking. And all while being a hound on the forecheck, a guy who's really hard to play against. Face-offs may be an issue, but that's why Ryan O'Reilly is with him, one of the best draw takers in the NHL, if not the best. So I think Martin's got a shot. I really think he does. And I think most Preds fans know the rule, but with the junior players, you can play them in 9 games without burning a year off their entry-level contract. And I think it's reasonable that it gets to that point. I really think it is.
Let me ask you this then. If they do decide he's played well enough through these 9 games that we're going to keep him around and use that first year of the entry-level contract, and we're still having the situations of Luke Evangelista hasn't signed yet, you have injuries that plague the team. Do you think it's a possibility that the Predators look to shop a guy at that position, like a Michael McCarron, like a Cole Smith, some sort of veteran presence?
I mean, I think anything's possible. Like they traded away guys on multi-year deals early last season. So I think anything's possible, but I think right now they've got their balance in the top 6 with 2 wide open spots for the claiming that right now look like they're going to be Brady Martin and Joachim Kimmel.
Yep.
But I think if Matt Wood is healthy opening night, he would have one of those. Then in the bottom 6, you got a different situation, and it seems like the battle there is Ozzy Weisblatt versus Zach LaRue for that last spot on the 4th line wing. The 3rd line is set. We've got a bonded trio of guys who show up to the rink mad every day with Michael Bunting, Eric Halla, and Jonathan Marchessault.
Which is funny because we had Bunting on a couple weeks ago. He was like the most down-to-earth, nice person of all time.
Yeah, and he is not someone you would want to mic up if you don't have the sensor ready during a game, as are all 3 of those guys. Bunting, Marchessault, and Halla. And like it's 3 veterans, 3 guys who know their skill set at this point. And they've been fun to watch together. So I think there's a chance those guys stick because literally they have not played with anybody else at any point in camp or preseason.
The situation everybody's monitoring, of course, is Luke Evangelista. And we've mentioned it a couple of times. Has not signed his contract yet, is not with the team currently. If this isn't sorted out by Thursday, do you think this could and maybe all the time he's missed in training camp too, could kind of stunt his growth in what is a big year for a young player who has shown a lot of flashes at times in his career in the NHL, but really hasn't been a consistent level player quite yet for the Preds?
Yes, I think he has already hurt himself by not being here, and I understand the way the negotiation works, but all that he has wanted is a big chance in the top 6, and it's never really come for more than a few games at a time, which I was always disappointed by because in those moments when he's gotten the chance, sometimes we've seen it, and it's really flashed. It flashed right at the beginning of his NHL career when he was called up in spring of 2023. Down the stretch last year, he played with O'Reilly and Forsberg for a few games and was putting up points left and right. And this year, the right wing spots on the top 2 lines were both there for the taking, and he's not here. So I understand he needs to get paid what he's worth, and normally I would be on the player's side in any dispute like this in any sport. I usually believe the player is the one who deserves to get paid what they think they deserve to get paid, especially in salary cap situations where your earning potential is limited. But I think Evangelista is hurting himself more than helping himself by not being here right now in this specific training camp when his positions, both of them that he would want, were there for the taking.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think it's a problem that he's not here. And without getting into sides of who's right and who's wrong, I think it's a problem that the organization and the player are too far apart on the contract money. So,
yeah, well, I mean, this is how the system is designed too. He's a restricted free agent who's not arbitration eligible.
Yeah.
So this can happen. And it happened with 2 guys who, just based on salary, are more prominent young players in the last couple of weeks. And they both got it done. Mason McTavish with the Ducks, Luke Hughes with the Devils, 2 big names who signed really long contracts.
Yeah.
And Evangelista is, I mean, based on what we're hearing of the negotiations, he's not about to sign for 6, 7, 8 years this go around.
Right. I don't think that one is on the table right now. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. If you have Preds questions, get those in for Max. You can text or call. Our phone line's driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We got another segment with Max Hers here on the show. We will go through the early look of what the lines and pairs could look like. Preds did make a waiver claim this week. We'll go through that and also talk about how important it is to get off to a fast start for this Preds team this year. Jake Lyman, Connor Newt, Parker Kelly. We're joined by Max Hers from Preds Radio, talking Predators with the season just 6 days away. We'll talk more Preds on the other side here on Next Man Up, 102.5 The Game. Next Man Up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Connor Newt, Parker Kelly. We are joined by Max Hers from Preds Radio during this first hour of the show, previewing the Preds season 6 days away from opening night on Thursday at Bridgestone Arena. cannot wait for hockey season in Smashville. We're going through some of the big storylines heading into the year. And Max, I know you're big on going through these lines and pairs and what things have looked like. What is the initial look at this lineup look like for the Preds? With, you mentioned a couple of spots still up for grabs, but slowly starting to fall into place.
Yeah. So I'll start with the guys who are not there. Luke Evangelista is not signed, so he is not here.
Right.
Two players who are injured. Both of them are very tall, and both of them I think would have had big roles. First up is Matt Wood, who was the NHL's scoring leader in preseason, and honestly still might be. I haven't checked because the Preds haven't had a game in the last 4 days. Somebody's probably passed him, but he had 5 points in the first 2 preseason games, and was, I mean, it was almost all primary points too. So
He's tied for 5th.
Okay.
Hendrix Lapierre from Washington.
And he's played in 2. Hendrix Lapierre has probably played in 4, would be my guess. But yeah, so Wood was on track to make the team. He got hurt in the intra-squad game in Clarksville, the Gold Star Showcase, and hopefully he can be back maybe by opening night. We were told week to week earlier this week,
Gotcha.
but at that point, it's already been a week since he was hurt, and opening night still isn't for another week. So I guess that's what week to week means.
50-50, I guess, is where we are at this
if you
point.
take week to week at its word, he could play opening night. And then on the back end, another preseason injury, Nick Hague, who the Preds signed to a big 5-year contract on a sign and trade from the Golden Knights this summer to be Roman Yossi's partner. He looked good with Yossi in the early days and in the first period and a half of preseason, and he got hurt in his preseason debut. So he will be out probably till the end of October, early November. So they have some depth on the back end, though, and we'll go through that. But forwards first, you said.
Go ahead.
So Philip Forsberg, Ryan O'Reilly, and Brady Martin has been the top line.
Yes.
Brady Martin on the top line is, I mean, crazy.
I love it.
And a lot of the time when they're running drills, Martin is the one playing center in live play. O'Reilly's going to take most of the faceoffs.
Makes sense.
But I think we could get to the finish line of opening night with that. I really do. And that they're giving Brady Martin every chance in the world.
I mean, it is crazy to have gone from maybe Brady Martin makes the team to, hey, he could be on the first line on opening night.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, he's done good things. He really has. It's not, hey, you're the 5th overall pick. I mean, if they didn't think he could play in the NHL right now, he'd be back in the Sioux right now because his junior team's playing games. So
it's so funny how that's flipped, though. Like when we had you on a couple weeks ago, you were like, well, it looks like only one guy drafted this year is going to make the opening night roster, and that's Matthew Schaefer in New York. And now it's like, hey, Brady Martin, he's going to be on the top line opening night.
And if he produces in the NHL, even if he just stays for the 9 games and goes back to the OHL, boy, does that change the narrative about this pick and the franchise.
Yep, for sure. If Brady Martin comes out and, again, even if he only plays the 9 games and he looks the part, that changes the way the Preds feel about their future because you look like you might have a future star in Brady Martin.
Yeah, and he had a great year last year in the OHL. His draft year is what got him drafted, and that's how it works, and you want him to keep playing well, and I mean, I said it before, he's 18 and a half. He was born in March 2007.
I am no longer the baby.
Who's older, Brady Martin or Ryan Williams? As Vandy faces Alabama this weekend. Ryan
Williams.
He's the wide receiver who last year, anytime you watch an Alabama game, it was, Ryan Williams is only 17 years old. That was the storyline that was played ad nauseum.
Is he the guy who said they're going to beat an ant with a sledgehammer or whatever it was?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
They need to combat him with the who was the guy a couple of years ago? Alabama, you're next.
Oh, yeah.
Nephi.
Yeah.
They need to
Big Joe's great interview.
We need a round table.
Look, Vandy's going to win this weekend. We can go back to hockey after this, but you can't go 16-0 if you don't start 6-0.
That is very true.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dabo Sweet.
We will be talking some Vandy later on in the show. I'm getting there too. I think Vandy might get the win. So Brady Martin possibly on the top line on opening night. And you mentioned is it the second line that's pretty much set with Holla, Bunting?
So I guess they're the second line on the line sheet. I consider them the third line and role. Like, it's all vets, so you put them on the second line.
Right.
But to me, the line with Stamkos on it is the second line, which is Stamkos and 2 guys who have a combined 54 games of NHL experience. Svechkov at center and Joachim Kimmel at right wing, and Stamkos has been playing left wing mostly. And I think Kimmel's got a chance to break out. You never know.
Right.
He's going to have to get some shots off, and him and Stamkos are very similar players too. So could be a plus, could be a minus. We'll see how that goes. But I think last year, the brief glimpses we got of Svechkov and Stamkos together, it's that simple. You're playing with Steven Stamkos, and Svechkov made it look easy in the few select moments he got with him. The one that I think of is the overtime hat trick.
Yeah.
It's 3-on-3, so it's a different world. But Svech drew the D on what was kind of an odd man rush. It wasn't a full odd man rush. And Stamkos had the most open ice he'd had all season, tenfold. It's that easy. And that's what Fedor Svechkov is good at offensively.
I like that pairing with him and Stamkos together. And you mentioned Kemmel. Does that feel like the most obvious spot if you do get Matt Wood back, if you do get Luke Evangelista back, that would be where one of those guys would slide in?
I think so. I think it would definitely be Kimmel coming out.
Not Martin.
I think as of now, Martin is ahead of Kimmel. Wood was playing with Martin and Forsberg in preseason. I think Martin is more tied to Forsberg now than Wood would be. So I think it could be Stamkos, Svechkov, Wood.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's a long answer to say yes.
There you go. And then that fourth line, the culture line, the bruisers, big sexy in the middle.
The starting line.
Yeah, there you go.
Local father of two, Michael McCarron. Shout out to the McCarron family. They have now had 2 babies in just over a year.
Wow.
Last September, they had their first baby girl. And then 2 days ago, son Jetson McCarron was born.
Badass name.
Yeah.
That's a great name.
Yeah.
You need Flintstone as the next one.
Yeah. Well, I thought I was like, are you a fan of the Jetsons? He's like, no, not really. Just a great name. It is a great name. So, happy for Mike. The kid was born. What day of the week is it? Today's Friday. The kid was born on Wednesday night.
Wow.
And he was like, no chance I'm missing a second practice in a row. You can't keep me cooped up in this hospital.
Yes.
I love it.
So, yeah, he broke out. But yeah, Michael McCarron, America's 4th-line center, gold medalist at the World Championships as the 4C. Especially with Colton Sissons gone, he is your stabilizer in so many ways. He's taken the draw to start every PK this year. He's going to have some really important D-zone starts. Cole Smith's going to be alongside him, as he has been now for 4 years. And as of now, it looks like Ozzy Weisblatt has the inside track for the 4th-line wing, but it's a close competition between Weisblatt and Zach LaRue for that 4th-line wing spot. And the potential separator here, this isn't the decision-making point, but Weisblatt does require waivers to get to the AHL, and LaRue does not. So that is in Weisblatt's favor, potentially.
Yeah, that would make sense. Make sure you keep both of them and don't have to worry about somebody else coming in and claiming them. So interesting look at those lines, and obviously a couple of things that still need to be sorted out with injuries and contract stuff. But I do like the way it's sorting out, and excited to see some of these young guys. On the defensive pairs, you mentioned Nick Hague is out, but Roman Josi being back and healthy, obviously, getting the captain back, one of the best defensemen in the league, that's always going to be a big boost.
And it's so funny how much everybody takes him for granted. Like, even the players are like, it's a whole new world to have him back. 15th season for Roman Josi. He's one of the longest tenured captains in the NHL now, which is unbelievable. He's been the longest tenured Preds captain already for 3 years in team history. But it's incredible, the longevity. And look, he suffered a really serious injury, and it led him to get some other things checked out that had been bothering him. He said he'd been dealing with fatigue and dizziness for really a couple years now, which is incredible that the defenseman who plays 30 minutes a game is dealing with fatigue. What is he going to be able to do now?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just incredible what he's always done. And now even knowing that, and he was diagnosed with POTS, which is a syndrome that is manageable, and he's receiving medical care for it. He has some medications. He's changed up his sleep patterns. He's eating a little bit differently. And all of this was triggered by the dirty hit he took from Sam Bennett last year, which caused a concussion, but led him to take the time to finally get this sorted out. And another thing that's interesting, this is not for POTS. This is for just concussion management and prevention. He's wearing the thing on the back of his neck that's shaped like a horseshoe that I've seen a lot of NFL players wear. It's called a Q collar. I have never seen another NHL player wear one. So I believe he is the first, which is interesting. And
Wow.
fans who see him up close, either on TV or in person, will see it kind of on the back of his neck, just because above the collar of his sweater. But I think that's like a visual reminder of like how much he had to do to get back.
Yeah.
And he feels 100% and he looks 100%. So look, if things stay on track this year and he stays healthy, Roman Josi will play his 1,000th NHL game this year. That's going to be an incredible celebration.
Silver stick, baby.
Yeah, he would be the first person to ever play 1,000 games for the Preds.
Wow.
So, yeah, David Legwand got close, but he was traded in the 900s. So, yeah, it's a big season for Roman Josi, and his D partner, Nick Hague, got hurt right off the drop. And Adam Wilsby, who was the best player early on in camp, has stepped right onto that top pair. And I think it was the right guy to move, without a doubt. And he's looked good there. And I mean, he's just zipping around. Him and Josi together, somebody's might have to push the brakes a little bit so somebody stays back. But those guys will be flying together, and they are 10 years apart in age.
Wow.
Wilsby's got a lot of promise. If he hadn't gotten hurt last year, I think we would have seen some fun stuff from him at the end of the season.
Yeah, excited to see that pairing together, at least until Nick Hague is able to get back healthy. And I know one of the big defensemen that fans were looking at, Tanner Molendyk, former first-round pick. He was injured for the first part of camp, but he's been back on the ice and hopefully can be a part of this team.
Yeah, I don't think Molendyk has a great chance at making the opening night roster, which is fine because he will now finally be able to make his pro hockey debut for the Milwaukee Admirals. He's been in junior for 5.5 seasons. He was an early guy in the Western League. You can go in there when you're 15. He played all the way through his age 20 season last year. He won the Western Hockey League Championship, the Ed Chenoweth Cup. He was in the Memorial Cup last year. So he actually was playing longer than the Admirals were. So he never got to play a pro game. So I think they want him in Milwaukee a little bit. Andrew Gibson is already down there in the first round of cuts. I think you would probably see those guys paired together as a potential pair in the NHL in the future. But I would expect Molendyk to make his NHL debut at some point this season. Most of that is probably based off of injuries, but I think it's more than reasonable that he debuts before New Year's.
615-737-1025 is the phone number. We see your phones. Max, you want to stick around for a little longer here?
Yeah,
right,
I'm good.
We'll take some questions from all of you.
615-737-1025.
If you want to text or call, our phone lines are driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Jake Lyman, Connor Newt, joined by Max Hers here on this Friday morning. Next man up, 1025 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Wondering where to go watch NFL games this Sunday? Come to Twin Peaks in Madison, home of the 29-degree beer, and join 102.5 The Game for the pregame show before the Titans take on the Cardinals. The pregame show is brought to you by Parman Tractor and Equipment and Tennessee Brewworks. Jake Lyman, Max Hers, Connor Newt, Parker Kelly with you on this Friday
White
morning.
Girl Friday.
Is that what we're calling it?
Anytime I'm on the air with you, it's white girl music all day.
Guess that's what we're going with. We are previewing the Predators season as they are 6 days away from dropping the puck on a new year at Bridgestone Arena on Thursday night. If you have questions for Max Hurst, get those in 615-737-1025. You can text or call. We'd love to hear from you. I did want to make the point here that last year, that 0-5 start really felt like it just put this team in a hole that they couldn't dig themselves out of. Does it feel like it's a big deal to get off to a fast start this year and get some good feelings going in that locker room to start off the season?
Yeah, you don't want a single shred of doubt about any aspect of the team. And I think the schedule is more favorable at the beginning this year too. The two games at home to start the season are both winnable. The Blue Jackets, it's two sneaky teams actually, but they're both winnable on home ice, very much so. The Blue Jackets in the first game, they're a team on the rise. They have a forward group that kind of is a bunch of no-name rising stars, but they have some rising stars in that forward group. And Zach Werenski should have won the Norris last year and didn't, which I was kind of disappointed by. But that's the first game, but that's a very beatable opponent. And then the second game, the recently rebranded Utah Mammoth.
The Mammoth
will be here.
A prehistoric matchup.
Yeah, I think they're calling it the Ice Age rivalry.
Yeah.
I think officially is
so
how the
good.
Preds are naming it. And there's going to be some sort of promotion around it. There's going to be an Ice Age hot dog for the hot dog of the game at the arena 2 Saturdays from now, October 11th. And that's another team, like they've got guys, and that team has given the Preds fits since they were in Arizona with their current group with Keller and Schmaltz snapping it around. And I think this is breakout year time for Logan Cooley too. So again, another team with a high ceiling, but also a team with questions early in the year. That's not a playoff team from last year. So they're beatable. And then after that, they get the thing that they did not get last year. They get on the road early, and Hal Gill said on the radio 10,000 times, that's why he thought they had a bad start last year, because they were all sitting at home. A lot of the guys on the team were new. Everybody was getting settled in. Everybody had relatives in town because they could go to 6 games in a row. And this year, we're just grabbing our passports. We're going up to Ottawa for Canadian Thanksgiving on a Monday afternoon for the third game of the season. Back-to-back, Ottawa, Toronto, Montreal, and Winnipeg to finish up the week. I think that could be a fun trip.
Yeah.
If the Preds start to figure some things out early on. And then after that, 5 home games in a row against the Ducks, Canucks, Kings, Stars, and Lightning.
And then
Those
they
are
hit
some
the
challenging games other than the Ducks.
Then they hit the road to Philly and come right back, right?
Yeah.
That's what I
yeah.
thought.
So it's home heavy early on in the season.
Thank you, Chill.
Yeah. They have 6 Saturdays in Smashville out of the first 8 Saturdays
Wow.
of the season. So those are going to be full houses.
Yeah.
A lot of those games need to be wins.
Yes. Plenty of opportunities to come out and make an impact at Bridgestone Arena. 6 Saturday games at home through the first 8 weeks. So that is massive. And I do have to say, you mentioned the early road trip. Like, I think that is always important. I know you've done summer league baseball, and to kind of like make a comparison, when I was up in Minnesota, every year we started with our longest road trip of the year. You'd go 6-hour bus ride to Bismarck, North Dakota. And it just felt like the players bonded by being together for 4 days straight. And it's not like you're going back to your own houses. You're in a hotel together and you're bonding. I think that's important. I know it's a very similar team to last year. There are much less new pieces, but I do think an early road trip is good for team morale and to just get the team going.
Yeah, and it's a cool trip, too. It's a trip where the players will be together. It's a trip where many of the players will have family. Ottawa, Toronto, Montreal, Winnipeg on Canadian Thanksgiving week. Hopefully for our Blue Jays fans in the traveling party, including the head coach, Andrew Brunette. Hopefully the Blue Jays will be in the ALCS that week.
Facing the Tigers.
Hopefully for Jake facing the Tigers. And it could be a pretty fun. They're known not fun weeks up in Canada when the hockey's going on.
Yeah.
So it's a really cool, really cool first trip. I'm already looking forward to it. The players shouldn't be thinking about it yet. They should be thinking about practice today and preseason tomorrow, and then the first 2 home games, but I'm allowed to look forward.
Yeah, I mean, as a broadcaster, you can always look forward to the trips.
I can't wait for that April 7th matchup against the Winnipeg Jets.
615-737-1025. Matthew in Nashville wanted to make the point. Apparently, the Mammoth are getting sued for their name. I didn't realize
every
that.
name they pick, they get sued.
Yeah,
they were barred from being the Yeti by Yeti Cooler Company.
Yeah,
and there's a company that makes, I guess, hockey bags and other hockey gear called Mammoth Hockey.
That's what Matthew. It's an Oregon-based equipment company. So
yeah,
man, can't catch a break.
They also they had like. With the arena last year, they had a lot of seats that were folded up because it was designed for basketball, and they got the team 3 months in advance. So this year they kind of like redesigned. They're the first arena where like a specific seat will be in a different place depending on what sport is being played in Salt Lake City. And
they use the Jazz arena, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they let the media like see it for the first time yesterday. The lower level is like mountain level steep. Walking down.
Interesting.
Like if you buy lower level seats there, like you better be an athletic individual. It honestly looks dangerous, but they fixed the sight lines.
It has to be, right? Because that arena was not designed for hockey, and obviously an ice rink is a lot bigger than a basketball court. So you kind of have to push the seats back, which makes it steeper. It's interesting.
There's a button they can push, and basically large portions of the lower level shift.
It's
like the Bat Cave.
That is crazy.
That's so cool.
Matthew in Nashville also asked the question because we were talking about David Legwand. He says, ask if there are any plans to finally retire his jersey.
No, I don't believe so.
I haven't heard anything about that either. But
I think Shea Weber is next for that. If there is
that would make sense. I did want to mention that the Preds did make a waiver claim this week, and they claimed Tyson Jost. And I know a lot of people are making a pretty big deal about this in terms of, is this a Luke Evangelista replacement? Based on what you're saying, it doesn't seem to be quite as big of a deal as some may have made it out to be.
He's not going to play in the top 6, at least right off the bat. He is likely to make the team, I would say. And the Preds have played against Jost plenty of times, mostly on the Avalanche, but he's been on the Wild, the Sabres. Last year was on the Hurricanes, just played against the Preds in the preseason game 5 days ago for the Hurricanes. But he's just a versatile bottom 6 guy. He can play center. He can play both wings. I think he is likely to start the season on the NHL roster as the extra forward, because they are likely to keep an extra forward and D, especially since they have a back-to-back on the road in week number 2. But they don't want to hold a prospect in those spots because, 1, they want the prospect to play.
Right.
And 2, they can bring those types of players up and down without waivers, the prospects. So I would expect Jost to make the team. He almost definitely will play a game for the Preds at some point, but I don't think it'll be opening night. And as of now, I think they should keep 7D, and I think Nick Blankenburg would be the 7th. I think Spencer Stastny would be the 6th. He would play, and I think Blankenburg would be 7, which he deserves to make it. After all he did for the Preds down the stretch last year, he certainly deserves to make it. So it's right now the 4th pair is Blankenburg and Tanner Molendyk after Andreas Englund was sent down. So I think Molendyk will go down to Milwaukee. If they keep a 7th D, which I think they should, it would be Blankenburg. But yeah, Jost is not here because Luke Evangelista is not here. That's not how it works. But him and Cole Smith are super tight. They played together at North Dakota. I've always enjoyed watching Jost play. He's very similar to Mark Jankowski, and the Hurricanes basically were deciding between him and Mark Jankowski for 4th line, and they tried to get Jost through waivers and didn't work.
Yeah, Preds made the move, but again, not a 1-for-1 Luke Evangelista replacement like I saw some buzz on Twitter about that. Max, you got one more segment in you?
Yeah, can I plug something as well?
Yeah, go ahead. Plug.
So we actually have a Smashville live radio show before opening night this year. This coming Tuesday, which is October, what are my dates? October 7th. Tuesday night, October 7th, next Tuesday, this Tuesday from 6 to 7 at Brewhouse South in the Cool Springs Galleria. First Smashville live show of the year with 2 new Preds, the 2 new defensemen coming in this offseason. Nick Hague and Nick Perbix will be our guests. Tuesday night, Smashville live, Brewhouse South in the Cool Springs Galleria from 6 to 7. Come hang out with us, get ready for opening night, meet the new Preds. I don't think we've ever done a show in the time I've been hosting it before the season started.
Right.
So this is pretty cool.
That's awesome. Tuesday night, if you can't get out there to Brewhouse South in Cool Springs, you can listen in right here on 102.5 The Game. And perfect way to get ready for Thursday night, where the Preds will start off their new season against Columbus. So excited for that. We'll keep Max for one more segment, and then we'll let him go. We'll wrap up our Preds talk on this Friday morning. Again, if you have questions for Max, you can get those in. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. If you want to text any questions for Max, we will get to those coming up next. This Sunday, the NFL game of the week is the Cowboys versus the Jets at noon on Sports Talk 830. NFL game of the week is presented by Circus Sportsbook Kentucky and Macero in 12 South. Jake Lyman, Max Hers, Connor Newt, Parker Kelly, next man up, 102.5 The Game. Next man up, 1025 The Game, wrapping up hour number 1, as we will have every week moving forward. Fridays from 9 to 10, Max Hers is going to join us from Preds Radio and talk some Predators hockey. Preds start their season on Thursday night at Bridgestone Arena. Cannot wait for a new season in Smashville. And again, 9 to 10 every Friday here on Next Man Up, we will have Max Hers from Preds Radio. A couple more questions for Max. We'll get to your questions as well. We haven't talked about the goalies at all. UC Saros, again, last year, you can talk about how statistically maybe not as good of a season as you would have liked, but Roman Josi being out, a lot of the turmoil on that back line may have contributed to that as well. You've also got Justus Annunen back for his first full year with the Preds. What's the goalie situation looking like for Nashville?
I maintain that very little of last season's ills and goals against were on UC Saros. And look, I understand that that's polarizing, but that's what I thought the entire time before it was even a topic of conversation. Poor guy got hung out to dry early. I think late he had some softies, but it's at the end of a lost season. And they rested him down the stretch too, which was a smart move because they knew he was going to go play for Team Finland and play every minute of the World Championships. And he played really well in that tournament. And Justus Annunen was his backup over there, and they were riding around in golf carts together with full gear on around the rink. And to use a adoptable puppy term, these guys are a bonded pair. And it feels like Annunen has been his backup goalie for years, when in fact it's only been 10 months, including the offseason, since the Preds traded for him in Thanksgiving, when Barry Trotz stared through or Scott Wedgwood stared through the peephole of his hotel room in Minnesota and saw Barry Trotz's face right there in the middle of the night, because there's no cell service in the hotel we stayed in Minnesota. And just like that, the Preds had a new backup goalie, and we had Juice, and Big Juice was born. And I think Annunen's going to play a lot this year, even if Saros returns to his form and the team plays well. I think they know what they have in Annunen. I think he's really solid, and I think he has conformed to the Preds system really well, which is deeper in the net, athletic movements deep in the net. Obviously, he is not the same style of goalie as UC Saros, but the way that goalie coach Ben Vanderklok and the goaltending department teach these guys is all in the mold that has made Saros successful. And we saw last year, Annunen had some amazing saves.
Yeah.
And he played a lot down the stretch, and the Preds' better results down the stretch were with him in goal. So he's got the ability to win in the NHL. This will be his second full NHL season. It's the second time that he's gone into a training camp knowing he's going to be an NHLer. And I think it just is huge for him. And those two guys are really, really close. They're from the same country. They speak Finnish together. And Big Juice is trying to get Juice onto the cool goalie pad ride now. So Annunen has giant Preds fangs on his goalie pads and on his blocker this year. And he's trying to get Juice to go for it too. And so Saros has his normal all gold in the Marc-Andre Fleury mold that he's had for years. He has those again this year. He's used them in all the games, but we've seen a couple practices. He's got gold pads with Preds claw marks on them. And if he switches to those, I think Big Juice is getting a commission.
I like it. I love it. I mean, there's a chance both those guys are playing for Team Finland in the Olympics too. Like, it's crazy that you get both those guys on the same team, and it makes sense that they're so bonded together.
Well, it'd be so funny if the three goalies for Finland, and this is reasonable, were Saros, Lankinen, and Annunen.
Yeah, right. That's very possible. All current or former Preds. Let's get to a couple questions on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. I did want to get to this. Ricky called in earlier, and he did text in to say what he was planning on saying. I'll read this. It might be a voice to text, so there's some that's not great in here. I called. I had to hang up. I'm sorry. Brady Martin is going to be Steven Stamkos at 21, 22 years old. The dominant Tampa Bay Steve Stamkos is physical. He hits. He's a mountain of a man with great hands. I gave the scatter report the night of the draft for people on the station. Said, I don't know who this kid is. He will pitch. Jordan Tutu and Steven Stamkos had a baby. Not exactly the most grammatically correct sentence there, but I think we get the gist of it from Ricky. He's a big Brady Martin fan.
Yeah, I mean, who are the guys who have captured Smashville's hearts? Jordan Tutu.
Yeah.
Patrick Hornquist. Like,
Right. It was such a
It's
Nashville
those
pick, such a
guys.
Barry
Yeah.
Trotz pick to take Brady Martin. And again, if he makes the team right off the bat, and again, you have those 9 games, but excited to see him out there. That'll be something a lot of fans have their eyes on Thursday night. Matthew in Nashville asked the question, Max, do you have a read on Bill Haslam yet as an owner? How patient will he be if the Preds get off to a slow start like last year?
Yeah, I think there's after last year, I think there's a little more kind of urgency to get it turned around. But uh Bill Haslam works in lockstep with Barry Trotz, who leads the hockey department. And on the business side, he works with the Predators business leaders, Sean Henry, Michelle Kennedy, the voices you hear on this station, and the whole crew. And he's very plugged in. He's very active. He's around the team frequently. He's at games frequently, and he travels with the team frequently. And he does so in a pretty under the radar manner, which is good. Like you don't want Jerry Jones. Like and the NHL doesn't really have that with any owners. There's one or two that will make appearances. But yeah, I think he's tapped in. And obviously everything with the franchise is better when you win, and he's a new owner. So I think this year we'll learn a lot more about that if things do not go well with the Preds. But I think it's a good question, and I think it's definitely something to be thinking about. But I think fans should take solace in the fact that he is very active behind the scenes, very plugged in with every day, every decision, and is not going to have to come in and make a decision uninformed, which I think you do see owners in sports who do that. Who have other stuff going on.
You need a good balance of, you don't want to be Jerry Jones, the hands all over the organization kind of owner, but you don't want to be a hands off owner either. It's like, it's got to be kind of a good balance there.
I think the Preds, I don't think there is a better ownership situation for the Preds than what has happened. The big group saved the team, and it was time to get back to a controlling owner, and it is a local owner who is active in Nashville and Tennessee, is active financially, and is really passionate about this without getting too much in the limelight.
Yep. So good question there from Matthew in Nashville. Max, appreciate you coming by. Excited to do this again every week from 9 to 10. We'll talk some hockey here on Next Man Up as the Pred season starts next week. And again, make sure to tune in on Tuesday or get down there to Brewhouse South in Cool Springs for Smashville Live before the season even starts. Nick Perbick's going to be your guest.
Yeah, excited for that. We got a preseason game tomorrow, final preseason game, 3 o'clock at Bridgestone Arena against the Hurricanes. Both teams are down to just NHLers, so there'll be A lineups there. We're expecting a big crowd, and we got Preds Fest before that, which is free at Walk of Fame Park across from the arena in the Country Music Hall of Fame. That's tomorrow from 11 to 2. It's free. You just have to go to predsfest.com to get a ticket. Smashville Live Tuesday night in Cool Springs. And then the opener
on Thursday night. And Max will be back next Friday morning to recap it right here on 102.5. The game, a preseason game at 3. How are you going to multitask?
Well, last year, this final Predators Hurricanes preseason game was also at the same time as the Vandy Bama game.
Right.
And we finished the post-game show, and I got to go to the rooftop of Acme and watch them drop the goalpost.
Right. That's where Andrew Burnett had to help them lift the goalpost over somebody's car.
Yeah.
I know this week last year, I remember hearing Willie Donick on this station saying he was going to go out and help them bring the goalpost down into the Cumberland.
And then he didn't.
I don't think he actually lived up to that promise. But, sadly, the goalposts in First Bank Stadium are safe this week. We'll see if Vandy can take down Alabama. And again, Preds preseason game tomorrow. Hey, Max, thanks for coming in.
Go Doors. James L. Lassiter is the future of sports. That's my guy.
We will talk some Vandy later on the show. Also, we'll talk some Titans. Appreciate Max Hers coming by. And again, every Friday from 9 to 10, he will be on here with Next Man Up. We'll take a break. We'll talk some Titans on the other side. Jake Lyman, Connor Newt, Parker Kelly. Next Man Up, 102.5 The Game. Second hour, next man up, 1025. The Game. Jake Lyman, Connor Newt, Parker Kelly with you for the rest of the show. Appreciate Max Hers coming by. And again, for all of you dying for some hockey talk out there, because we get texts almost every single day asking us to talk more Preds. 9 to 10 on Fridays. Max Hers is going to be with us talking all things Preds hockey. And again,
because Preds makes for exciting radio.
It does. And we will be talking Preds again, 9 to 10 every Friday with Max, including next week as we'll recap the opener against Columbus next Thursday. Let's get into some football, though, because it is another big weekend of football. We're going to talk Vandy, Alabama later on in the show, but we do have to talk some Titans. They're 0-4, 26-0 loss against the Texans on Sunday. I know it's been bad. I know it has, and I'm with all the Titans fans out there that feel like this team may never win a game again. But this is the NFL, and this is a winnable game. The Cardinals are not, I don't think they're a playoff team. They're definitely not a Super Bowl contender. This is a winnable game. This is a game that Brian Callahan needs to have his team ready for. The best players need to show up. They need to be competitive in this game and show some fight. Because right now, every single game, it feels like it's gotten worse. They've got to figure something out. It starts with Brian Callahan. This is a game that it feels like they have to win, or else this season, the locker room might spiral out of control more than it already has.
I mean, if you're going to win for anyone, win for me, because I, like all of you, am tired of coming on these airwaves and talking about how bad you are. I'm just kidding. Win for the guys in the locker room. Win for your fan base, because the fans are tired of going in and watching you crap the bed every week. And I understand if you get a win, it is good for your locker room and things start to gel together. And maybe you go on a little bit of a run, because that's how the NFL is designed. But just go out there and win. And I know it's hard because your team sucks, but just do it.
It's obviously easier said than done, but this team needs a win. We talked with Tehran yesterday about they've got to get the feeling of winning back. It's been almost a year since this team has won a game. Brian Callahan still has 2 more preseason wins than he does regular season wins.
He's going to start crying at the podium.
They need a win so bad. These next 2 weeks feel like good opportunities to get a win. And I hate to say it, but if you don't get a win before the Patriots game, I don't see Mike Vrabel coming in here and getting beat. He's going to have his team ready to go for that game.
But to your point, I don't know if she would fire him after that game.
I think the bye week is what we're looking at now.
Because why would she give Vrabel the satisfaction of firing his replacement after he beats him?
Yeah. There's a whole lot of politics that are going to go into this. At this point, it feels like it's more of a when, not an if, that Brian Callahan gets let go. But you can turn that around if you got to win football games. Like, as much as we talked about in the offseason how this season's not all about wins and losses, it's a little bit about wins and losses. Like, you do actually have to win some football games. Like, yes, the biggest part of this season is the development of the quarterback and making sure Cam Ward is the guy. But at some point, you got to win some games too. And these next 2 weeks, I know you're on the road, but the Cardinals and the Raiders are not great football teams. And if you go play a decent game, you should be able to compete and get a win in one of these 2 games. If you go 0-2 here, I mean, it's another indictment on the head coach of just not being able to get his team ready to play these games.
I want to see a win, most importantly, but I want to see a win where it's because of the quarterback. Because you draft a guy that high, you should be winning games solely off the performance of the quarterback, right? Like Cam Ward, I think he's been fine throughout the first few games of the season. I don't think he's been overly great. I don't think he's been awful. I think he's been fine. And he's shown you some flashes, like we've talked about ad nauseum on this station, about how he could be the franchise guy if you build around him. He does not have the pieces around him right now. So it's time for Cam Ward to make his own pieces and show that he can develop and create opportunities for guys around him solely because of how he's playing. And I think he's done that a lot for Alec Iomanner, but it's time for these veterans to step up and help him out with that as well.
Yeah, I mean, there are fans out there who are saying Cam Ward's for sure not the guy. There are a lot of Titans fans that will defend Cam Ward no matter what he does out there.
Can I tell you something? I don't think we're going to have an answer after this season.
No, I think you'll have a better idea. There you go.
Thank you.
I think you'll have a decent idea by the end of the year of what you have. I don't think you'll be able to, like, it's not like you're going to,
it's not Will Levis.
Right.
We have no idea what he is heading into his second year.
You're not going to go get a new quarterback after this year, and you're not signing him to a $250 million extension after this year. But I think you're going to have a decent idea based on the growth that he shows throughout a 17-game season, if he can stay healthy. And so far, it hasn't been good enough. And I understand there's been good moments, right? Like, the throw against the Rams was awesome. He's made at least one throw in every single game that makes you say, wow, there are not a lot of quarterbacks out there who can make that throw. And that gets you excited, but he hasn't done the basic things that a quarterback needs to do on a consistent basis. And I know Adam from Portland, after the Rams game, I came on here and said, I love that throw to Alec Eyemanner for the touchdown, but do regular quarterback things. Yeah. Like, and
it's the scene from Major League where he's like,
right,
great throw.
Don't ever do that again. No, and it's like sometimes he may need to do those things. And that's what you want out of your quarterback, is if he needs to be a superstar and needs to be Superman, that he has the ability to do it. But most of playing quarterback in the NFL isn't about making those throws. It's about making the easy throws and moving the chains, staying in front of the chains. So far, Cam Ward has not done that enough.
Well, that's my knock on Cam Ward so far, is I think he overthinks things. Like, there have been times where he's taken the sack because you can kind of see him looking throughout his options. Okay, there's Calvin. There's Alec. There's Chim DK running across the middle. What do I do here? And then you don't have the offensive line to do that.
I don't know if it's that. I don't know if it's that he's slowly processing it. And maybe there's some of that. But I think it's like, okay, Chig's open over the middle. But if Calvin makes this move at the right time, I could hit him for 30 yards instead of 6. And it's like, hey, man,
catch that ball.
It's like, hey, Cam, it's first down. Take the 6 yards. If the defense gives you 6 yards on first down,
you're assuming they pass on first down.
It's 2nd and 8 after Tony Pollard ran into the line for 2 yards. Take your 6 yards on 2nd and 8. I like Cam Ward. And I've said it from February on that I think he is the guy for this team. But so far, he has not done the regular quarterback things that you need him to do. 51% completion percentage, less than 5 yards per attempt. You've got to be better at being a game manager. Has a negative connotation, but there's got to be more game manager in Cam Ward. Like, you've got to be.
See, he just said the thing, Parker, the thing I hate. Well, actually, I agree with you on this. I hate the term game manager because of the negative connotations that come with it.
It's a negative connotation of saying, like, oh, Tom Brady was a game manager. And it's like, yeah, he was the best game manager of all time.
Yes.
People say the same thing about Jalen Hurts and Brock Purdy. It drives me up a wall.
Look, I love that term because I think it's a praise more than a knock. But these national media people and a lot of fans treat it as a knock. Oh, Kirk Cousins, he's just a game manager. No, Kirk Cousins, not anymore, but Kirk Cousins, when he was in his prime on the Vikings with Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen, was the ultimate game manager.
Well,
and he's the reason for that.
Look at Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
If you don't just watch the highlights and you watch Patrick Mahomes play football, Patrick Mahomes is a game manager. But when they need him to make the spectacular play, he's got that in his back pocket too. But for the most part, Patrick Mahomes is a guy who's going to put you in the right positions to go win a football game. And then if you need him to make the spectacular play, the Superman play, he can do it. That's what you want Cam Ward to be. The guy who can be a consistent quarterback for you, who's going to help the offense move, keep you in front of the chains, not lose the game for you. But he's also got that ridiculous backyard football ability to be able to make plays off script.
Precisely.
And I like that we've seen the off script stuff work so far, because that's the unique thing to him. That's what made him the first overall pick, is that ability. He's got to be able to do the regular things more.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to see some development on his part that's not dependent on the coach. You've got to, I think he has the mentality for that too. And I know we're going to get into #WeAskGate coming up soon, but I love the accountability from Cam. And I love that he, I've heard people complain, well, he's a me first guy. No. He is quite the opposite.
No.
He is a team first guy. And I love the accountability, and I actually love what he said about we ask. You've got to see the talk be backed up by the walk.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm saying. And I think he's showing signs of that. He's just not completely there. And there are outside variables that are dependent on that. And the play calling's been ass. The team around him has been ass. But you've got to see things that he is doing as well.
615-737-1025 is the phone number. We'll get to your calls. You mentioned We Ask Gate, as I've named it. Do we think Cam Ward should have done that in a public setting? Or is it good that he's holding his team accountable after what was not only maybe his worst game of the season, definitely his worst game of the season, but the team's worst game of the season? 615-737-1025 is the phone number. Jake Lyman, Connor Newt, Parker Kelly with you on this Friday morning. Next man up, 1025 The Game.
God, I love Fridays.
I heard this song at my dentist office on Tuesday. I completely forgot about this song.
Oh, this is so good. You know what they keep playing out on campus? Have you seen the like I'm gonna sound so weird. Have you seen the K-pop Demon Hunter?
Oh, the Golden song. That song's been stuck in my head all week.
Demon Hunter?
It's called K-pop Demon Hunters.
I'm
On
not
Netflix.
gonna lie to you. The album's good.
I've never seen it,
Good
but
stuff.
one of the songs is like all over my Instagram, and it is catchy. It's a catchy song.
I haven't heard
It's
it.
a good movie. You'd like it.
The Commodores will take on Alabama tomorrow. Pregame begins at 1 p.m. on 94.9 The Fan with the kickoff at 2:30. Vanderbilt football is brought to you by Gary Force Acura, Jimmy Kelly Steakhouse, and Smoky Mountain Tops. We will preview Vandy and Alabama coming up towards the end of the show. But let's talk Titans. This week, We Ask Gate has been one of the big stories. If that's what
it's hashtag.
We Ask Gate.
I'm going to start keeping count how many times we say this.
Again, we will get nowhere close to Robbie and Rex Road yesterday.
Dude, that's Joe's new favorite word.
The 8 to 9 a.m. hour from Robbie and Rex Road yesterday, they said we asked maybe 60 times, like once a minute.
I like to say it like Robbie. Like he goes, ass.
I mean, as a station, we might be breaking the record for most times said during a week, but Cam Ward, his comments after the game have drawn a lot of different reactions. I feel like most people locally kind of liked it and thought it was a good sign of Cam Ward being a leader and holding the team accountable. Nationally, it feels like the mentality is that he threw his team under the bus. I heard Trevor Maddich wasn't very happy about it when he talked with DVD on Tuesday. Yesterday, Charles Robinson was on with Robbie and Rex Road, and he said that he wouldn't have liked his young quarterback to be saying that. Where do you stand? Do you think it's good for Cam Ward to show that frustration in front of everybody, or should that maybe have been something that is done in a private situation, a locker room, team meeting, all that kind of stuff?
I see both sides of it, to be completely honest with you, but I'll fit the narrative you're pushing out right now. And being a local guy, I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it showed he's a team first guy and he's going to hold his guys accountable. Now, would I have used maybe different words? Then sure. But I mean, what do you think is a better situation? What Cam Ward did or what Shedeur Sanders did yesterday?
Oh, Cam Ward.
There you go. Exactly.
I liked it because I like the quarterback to show fire and have that competitive edge and frustration, right? Like, you should be frustrated after losing your first 4 games and getting shut out on the road against a division rival. Like that should be what you're feeling in that moment. You look at some of these quarterbacks around the league. Trevor Lawrence is the one I'll always point to. Like, I don't know if he really cares. And maybe that's just not.
And I think his
them
coach
every day, but
cares about other things.
But it's like Trevor Lawrence, it feels like he's just out there and he's never going to show frustration. Look at Joe Burrow in the quarterback documentary after beating the Titans last year and the frustration he was showing. Like, that's the kind of mentality you need as a quarterback. You need to be ticked off when your team loses a game and when your team loses 4 straight games. I do understand the idea of, yes, if you want to hold the team accountable and hold yourself accountable, call a players only meeting and you can say we ass in there, but maybe to say it at the podium was a little bit too much, but I liked it. I really did. I did too. I think it's good to show that, hey, he may have only played 4 games in the NFL, but man, this dude is a leader on this team. He's going to hold them accountable and he wants to win. And that's what you need out of a quarterback.
Let me make a comparison that you're all going to bash me for. And I don't want it to be misconstrued because I am not comparing the level of legacy between these two guys. What Cam Ward did on Sunday after that game, holding his team accountable like that, was reminiscent of one Michael Jordan in the level of the press. Michael Jordan, look, if you watch The Last Dance after that 89 finals against the Detroit Pistons, where they got beat in the Eastern Conference Finals, Michael Jordan was in the press saying, this team sucks. We have to get better. Otherwise, it's going to be the same story every year. And what did they do? They got better and had one of the greatest dynasties, if not the greatest dynasty of all time in sports. Now, look, I understand I'm making a bold jump here. Cam Ward is not the
You
level.
heard it here first.
Yep.
Cam Ward is Michael Jordan.
Cam Ward is not Michael Jordan. I promise you. He can be a great quarterback in this league, but he is not the level of athlete that Michael Jordan is, and I don't think he ever will be. But I appreciate that they have the same team first mentality and that they want to be great and they will do anything and everything they can to be great. You look at the great players across sports history, not just basketball, but Kobe Bryant had that mentality. In football, Tom Brady wants to win. Peyton Manning wants to win. If we're comparing Cam Ward to quarterback mentalities, I think Cam Ward has the spark of that mentality. I'm not saying he is everything that those great players are, but I think he has a start. I think he has that mentality, and that's why I'm so on board with him calling out his own team. Maybe not the words I would have used, but I'm on board with him calling out his team in front of the press and to national media because that says, hey, we got to get our you-know-what together. I almost actually said it. We got to get our you-know-what together so we look like we can actually play competent football. We're not there right now.
And you need to see it show up on the field, right? Like Cam Ward can be frustrated and be upset, but you actually got to go. You got to walk the walk now. Yep. And that's going to be important this week.
That's step 2.
You saw what should be rock bottom. You get blown out. I mean, I know the game was closer than it looked on the scoreboard, but you get beat 26-0 against your hated division rival, who the owner hates losing to. You've now lost 10 straight games. Your head coach is 3-18 and is basically everybody's calling for him to be fired. Go out there and win a game. Like, you can say we ass and it needs to be better and we've got to play better. You got to actually go do it. And this week is where that could start against the Cardinals. Let's go to our phone lines. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. 615-737-1025 is how you can get involved in the conversation. Let's go to Trey. Trey is on the line. Thanks for calling, Trey. What's wrong with Cam Ward today?
Cam Ward doesn't know how to read defense. Okay, you can blitz all day on Cam Ward and win most of the time. He doesn't know how to check down the different linebackers or whoever's going to come in to sack him. He don't know how to check down. He doesn't have speed as far as reading the defenses to get the ball out. And they don't even have anybody to catch the ball. So the nucleus of the team is Cam Ward. Cam Ward has to be better in so many different aspects of the game, mainly his footwork. You can look at his footwork and be like, oh, hell, we ain't going to score today, because that's what it is. You know, we don't score. You know, a team can score 10 points in the first half, 10 points in the second half, and maybe a fluke fumble or something like that Tony does and beat us. That's ridiculous. And they running on $400 million budget and they putting out a mediocre product like that. That's crazy. And y'all have a good day. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you, Trey.
What is he talking about?
I blame myself for letting him on the air.
I mean this with all due respect, because I love our callers and I love that they contribute. Does he watch the same level of football that we watch every week?
I mean, Cam Ward, this is every time Trey calls in, we get texts about you need to start. Oh, I can't say that word.
Yeah, no, don't say that
word. Cam Ward, if you have watched all 4 of these games and have come to the conclusion that Cam Ward is the problem with this team, then you don't know football. But Sunday, I think Cam Ward was the problem with the offense. Cam Ward was the reason the offense struggled. He was the biggest reason, I should say. He was the biggest reason why the offense struggled. He missed throws. He couldn't get the team into a rhythm. The protection was decent.
But guess what? He's a rookie.
Right.
And you're going to have games like that.
And honestly, if I look back at the other 3 games, I would say that Cam Ward was probably on the complete other side of like they lost, but it wasn't because Cam Ward was bad. So let's just see what he does trying to bounce back from a bad game. He was bad on Sunday, and no one can deny that. That was a bad game from Cam Ward.
But here's the thing. No disrespect to Trey. Trey has been calling in since July saying Cam Ward's awful.
Yeah, he called in before the preseason. And like there's some valid points there of like the footwork has not been good enough for Cam Ward.
Yeah,
but
that's coachable.
To make the point of I can look at his footwork and see that we're not going to score today is kind of, I mean, it's a little over the top.
I mean,
615-737-1025 is the phone number. Let's go to Edward, who's waiting patiently on our phone
Yes.
lines. Edward, thanks for calling. Go ahead.
Hey guys, can you hear me okay?
Yep, we got you.
yes, sir.
I'm not in Trey's thought process there. I believe Cam's been playing a lot better than Will Levis did. Really, since Tannehill was there, I think that he seems to have the game sense of what needs to take place, and he has a little bit of drive. Back to your original question, comment after the game. Remember in high school you had freshmen and you had seniors. And the seniors were the captains. The freshmen, they were just a little bit behind the scenes. They were just a little different. Cam Ward has got to get some street credit before he's able to call out people. You want to call out people, meet with them in private. I like to see the enthusiasm on the sideline, but you don't ever, in my opinion, speak negatively of your team. Tailor your comments to how you feel personally and what you can improve on, not calling other people out. But it just comes down to street cred. I still have a question mark whether or not he should be one of the captains as he is. You got to build up that street credit. And then from there, if you're Tom Brady, yeah, you can do that. If you're Drew Brees, you can do that. If you have that credit, you can call out people. Anyway, thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, it's a fair point, Edward. Thanks for the call. I do agree with what he's saying of like, hey, you've got to go prove what you can do at the NFL level.
Right.
And, but I do like to see that, he's not scared to jump in and be the leader. Like Marcus Mariota was a captain, but was he ever a vocal leader? No.
He was the opposite.
I don't know if being a vocal leader it's not a prerequisite to being a good quarterback in this league, but I think it does help and it gains the respect of your teammates. And we've seen that from Cam Ward so far. It's a big game on Sunday for Cam Ward. He had a bad game. He was 10 for 26 for just over 100 yards. The team didn't score any points. Cam Ward has to be better on Sunday. I think this is an opportunity for him to have a breakout game and really get things on track. The Cardinals defense is fine. Like it's not the Rams or the Broncos like you saw early on in the year.
I think that's just the word to describe the Arizona Cardinals.
Right. They're fine.
They're fine.
They've
got pieces.
It's not like you have Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter chasing you like you did last week.
I mean, Trey McBride is good.
Marvin
Harrison's coming up.
They are a better team than the Titans.
Yes.
Let's start there. They are a better team than the Titans. But is this a team that the Titans can't beat? Absolutely not. And the Titans, they need a bounce back game in a bad way. I'm glad Edward said it, that Cam Ward is playing better than Will Levis. There's been some weird narratives about would the Titans be better off with Will Levis?
It's because all these national media guys are stat
right.
watching.
And they're just looking at the stats and it's like, oh, Will Levis in his first 4 games threw 6 touchdowns. It's like, all right, well, 4 of those came in 1 game, but yes. Yeah.
With a different coach.
And like Will Levis, yeah, he definitely started his career looking better than Cam Ward. But in terms of if you're actually watching the games and seeing the intangibles and the abilities of the quarterbacks, Cam Ward is going to be a better player in this league.
You know who else Will Levis had working in his favor?
DeAndre Hopkins.
Well, him too. Derrick Henry.
Yeah, it's true. He did have Derrick Henry. Man, that seems like so long ago.
I know.
When Derrick Henry was on this team. 615-737-1025 is the phone number if you want to text or call. We'd love to hear from you. Our phone lines are driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. DVD with Willie Donick, Derek Mason, and Adam Vingen will be broadcasting live at the all-new Circus Sportsbook Kentucky in the Mint Gaming Hall this Monday prior to the Monday Night Football game. Head up there and watch the Chiefs and Jaguars, plus ask about Circa's giveaway of a trip to Las Vegas for the Titans and Raiders game coming up next week. Jake Lyman, Connor Newt, Parker Kelly. We'll look at the defense coming up next. L'Jarius Sneed, he was ass on Sunday. Can he be better coming up against the Cardinals this week? We'll talk about it next here on Next Man Up, 102.5 The Game.
Take me to the innocent.
Apparently, White Girl Fridays is a thing now when
Yes!
Connor Newt is in studio. So we got some. Is this Jason Derulo?
Oh, this is prime Jason
Yeah.
Derulo. Like, this is like one of his first songs.
Oh, I didn't get to hear the beginning when he announces that he's singing the song. So,
Oh, yeah, you wouldn't know.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but I truly feel like I'm the best DJ here at 102.5.
See, Parker does a nice job of he fits the music to whoever's on, to the next man up on this show.
Yeah, I just play whatever I want. And if you don't like it, then you can do something.
TD has taught me a lot about music.
No,
so.
no, TD is one I will fit his agenda
Yeah.
because I love that.
Yeah.
Right. And TD has his own request for the most part, too.
Yes.
Next man up, 102.5 The Game, Jake Lyman, Connor Newt, Parker Kelly. Talking some Titans here in hour number 2. We were talking about Cam Ward, and I thought this was a good point from Jeff on our text line. He says, guys, here's a thought from a 65-year-old man who has watched decades of football. Until this organization can field a competent offensive unit at all positions, they're not going to know if they have a franchise quarterback with Cam Ward. And it's true. It's like,
Point.
right. You can't make a judgment on Cam Ward at this point because clearly everything around him is not good enough. Receivers, running backs, offensive line. Like Tony Pollard has had some good moments, but he's averaging under 4 yards a carry, which that offensive line falls into that category too. But like,
By the way, Parker, Dustin in Hopkinsville says you are the best DJ at this station.
Dustin is awesome. I love Dustin.
We love Dustin. He's a fellow Cap. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
it's all good. I just the point is that this Titans team, as Mike Borgonzi said when he was asked whether this team could win a Super Bowl, they have a lot of work to do on this roster.
Yeah.
And that has been evident through 4 games so far. On the defensive side of the ball, L'Jarius Sneed had his worst game as a Titan on Sunday.
Who?
And I don't think it's close. Both his head coach and his defensive coordinator have kind of, I don't want to say thrown him under the bus, but there's been a little bit of, you can't do that if you're L'Jarius Sneed. Brian Callahan said, like, if you're going to talk like that, you have to back it up. Clearly he didn't. And Denard Wilson basically said that on 2nd and 33, he made a call to keep everything in front of them, and L'Jarius Sneed, quote unquote, did his own thing and then pressed and let the Nico Collins get over the top for 37 yards.
I mean, did I not? I don't think I told you this because I wasn't on with you, but once he said that comment, TD and I talked about it on Talking with TD, and then I think I said it with Frazier on Chasing Big Joe. He dug his own grave once he made that who comment. I was like, it's only a matter of time. And this time it was self-inflicted because, like you said, he went out and did his own thing. That is such an avoidable thing, too. Like, you have them that far backed up. All you got to do is stay in front of the guy and make sure he does not catch the ball, and you do the exact opposite because you want to stroke your own ego.
Right. And it wasn't just that play. That's obviously the biggest play, and that was the play that really broke the camel's back. And that was the straw that broke the camel's back. It was the floodgates opened up after that, and the Titans couldn't stop the Texans. They obviously couldn't move the ball on offense. But he also had a couple other plays in that game that were horrible too. He needs a bounce back game, especially no more Jarvis Brownlee. Like, if L'Jarius Sneed isn't a good quarterback, what are you running out there? Darrell Baker and
Jalen Armour
Davis and Marcus Harris for every single snap. Like, you need L'Jarius Sneed to be a competent cornerback for you. And it doesn't seem like it's physical ability that is the issue. It's just the fact that he's not doing his assignments as he's being asked to do. And
then he gets defensive when you ask about it.
And it can't happen. It cannot happen for a guy of his caliber. I mean, again, this is a guy that was an all-pro cornerback and a guy who's been in the league for as long as he has. You can't have, and I've mentioned it multiple times this week because it's just astounding to me. You can't have the analyst on the game saying, man, how did Nico Collins get so wide open out here? Oh, well, it looks like L'Jarius Sneed was playing zone and everyone else was playing man. Like, that cannot happen for a cornerback. Like, that's a rookie mistake. 2 rookie mistakes in the same game.
Was it him? Yeah, it was him. After they asked him about that play, and L'Jarius was like, hopefully he gets paid the same amount I get paid in the future. I was like, what?
Well, that's what he said, is like, basically, like, they get paid. He's a good player too. But it's like, yeah, but even if he's a good player, you didn't have to press him on 2nd and 33.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, it's horrible.
No, I agree with you.
615-737-1025 is the phone number. Let's check in on our phone lines, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Dustin from Hopkinsville has called in. Dustin, good morning. What you got for us today?
Good morning, guys. I can confirm from Parker that he is not going to play Taylor Swift next. I asked and requested that that's the only thing that he didn't play.
There we go. Yeah, her new album came out last night.
Yeah, we will not be listening.
Yeah, I didn't know. No, but I just wanted to give a shout out to Mr. Sneed. Hey, buddy. Hey, man. You know who he is now. So maybe don't get amnesia before the next time we play him because he routed you, dog.
Yeah.
But so with the Cam Ward thing, like people, I'm all over. I couldn't love it anymore. Our quarterback's got fire in his ass by saying we ass, and I couldn't love it anymore. And it's soft to be. We are playing a warrior sport. We go out there and hit each other in the mouth. Like, what are we talking about? We don't want our quarterback saying we're ass when we're complete diabolical ass. Like, and if the coach don't like it, coach better, brother. That's all I can say. Coach us out of this ass. But I compare it to last night. Like, my son was playing soccer. He's 5, like 3 foot tall. Everybody else is like 3.5, 4 foot tall. And he's a dang dog because of what I've instilled in him. I'd instilled, hey, I'll never get on to you for being too aggressive. Don't go out there and hurt somebody. But, dude, I'll be all over your ass if you play soft. Give me your all. You ain't got to score goals. We ain't got to win. But I want you as an individual. I'm teaching you something on this field. We ain't teaching soft stuff. Cam Moore needs to be calling, and he ain't calling one player out. He's calling the whole team. That'd be way different. He ain't called. He brought up the line. He brought up the receiver. He brought himself up, and he holds himself accountable. I freaking love it. I say we trade him and go see what he can do somewhere else. See y'all.
Thanks for the call, Dustin.
Thanks, Dustin.
Dustin has gotten us much closer to the ass quota for the day.
He
I
said
count
it 6 times.
I count 6 asses.
He said Cam Ward has fire in his ass. I hope not.
When
We
he-
don't want a
when he
Lamar
mentioned
Jackson
that-
situation.
I know how that feels.
Yeah, when he
Um,
mentioned that, I'm just going to assume he wasn't talking about explosive diarrhea.
Thank you for detailing.
Yeah,
that.
thanks for saying the quiet part out loud there, Parker.
Leave it to me, right?
Yeah, L'Jarius Sneed hasn't made any comments about Marvin Harrison yet. We'll see if on Sunday we get Maserati Marv or Honda Harrison. It kind of goes back and forth based on the game so far, sometimes based on the quarter. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. If you have thoughts, Joey from Gallatin says it's only the old dads crying about the we ass comment. Yeah.
My dad's old and he likes
I mean, I think most people around here, most Titans fans, most people who cover the team consistently, we're fine with it. It seems to be the people who aren't as connected to Nashville who have a problem with it. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. There is one guy who had, at least statistically, a good game on Sunday, and I felt like all week we've glossed over it because of how bad it's been. So I do want to give some flowers to a young player who stepped up on Sunday against the Texans. Jake Lyman, Connor Newt, Parker Kelly with you. We'll wrap up hour number 2 after this. You're on Next Man Up, 102.5 The Game.
I don't know this one.
You don't know Burning Up by the Jonas Brothers?
Oh. They sound so young here.
This
They were
is
young
from
here.
like 2008, probably.
You've never heard this song?
No, I've heard this song.
They got like the rap part of this too. Camp
Yeah.
Rock 3, by the way. Did we talk about this already?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm the first one I talked to you
Yeah,
about
right.
this.
Yes,
That's
you
in
were
the
the one who
works?
brought. Yeah,
That has been confirmed?
they are filming.
Mm.
Okay. How about it?
615-737-1025. Next man up 1025. The Game. Jake Lyman, Connor Newt, Parker Kelly. Anytime we have Connor Newt on, I just out myself as like watching Disney Channel
As a
original
feminine
movies.
white boy? Yeah, me
there you
too.
go. I did want to bring up as we wrap up some Titans talk here. We're going to preview Vandy and Alabama coming up in the 11 o'clock hour. Cedric Gray had 17 tackles on Sunday. Like, and
Oh.
tackles is not always the definition of a good game, but preseason Cedric Gray and James Williams were kind of all everybody was talking about. It was like, oh, these young guys, they could be players at inside linebacker. Now, James Williams has fallen off a little bit, but Cedric Gray, he made a couple of plays that you noticed on Sunday, making some run stops. He leads the team in tackles, even more than Cody Barton through 4 weeks. So just wanted to give some flowers to Cedric Gray because the Titans are in need of any and all young, talented players to actually step up and be productive players for them. So seeing Cedric Gray have a good game, and again, tackles is not the definition of a good game. You want a guy to be disruptive, but I just wanted to give credit to Cedric Gray.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I thought the defense in general on Sunday for 3 of the 4 quarters was marvelous. I mean, Jeffrey Simmons is the best player on the field for the Titans. There's no arguing that. His transformation of his game and his body is absolutely noticeable, and it's been for the better. So I think he has by far been the best player for the Titans this season. But you're right, Cedric Gray not getting a lot of love, but I think he has been kind of a pivotal piece in that inside linebacker position outside of Cody Barton because he's making the plays. And this is kind of his unofficial rookie year, you could kind of say. He didn't really play last year because of the injury, and this is really his first year getting acclimated to the pro game, and I think he's kind of taken it and run away with it. He's looked good.
No, Cedric Gray getting hurt last year, I think, was disappointing for a lot of people in that building because they did take him early in the 4th round. He was supposed to be a guy. I mean, he was what, the 103rd pick? 106th pick. We talk all the time about getting top 100 picks. Like, that's how you build a team. The Titans have put out there, they want what, like 30 total picks and 12 in the top 100 over the next few years.
Yeah.
Like those guys, and I get Gray was 106, but in that range, those guys are guys who are supposed to contribute for you. And I'm glad to see Cedric Gray stepping up because last week when TD was on, we were going through the defense of like, who's going to actually help this team when they're good? Like, who are the young defensive pieces that you can build around? And the only 2 names that we could come up with guaranteed were Femi Oladejo and Kevin Winston. And honestly, that's just because they were rookies.
What about Roger?
Well, Roger's not extended yet.
Yeah.
You hope.
But he's young.
I would love for Roger McCreary to be part of that, but you got to get him signed on the dotted line. TD wasn't so sure that Tavondre Sweat was going to be part of the future. And Jeffrey Simmons, it's like you just don't know, first of all, if he's going to be here when this team gets good again, and is he going to be the impactful player that he is currently?
I mean, he's in his prime right now. There's no denying that. He's what? Almost 30, on the back end of his 20s.
He's 28.
Yeah, he's got maybe 4 to 5 more years left in him as this level of player.
Right. I think the question about trading him has come up this year, and I'm not.
Well, that's coming from one guy, but
I'm not anti-trade Jeffrey Simmons, but I said this to TD yesterday that I think it shouldn't be the Titans shopping him. It should be, hey, our phone lines are open. Here's the price. Give us a 1st and a 3rd, and you can have Jeffrey Simmons. And it's like, yeah, you might come down a little bit, but there shouldn't be a whole lot of negotiating because the Titans have all the leverage.
look at you. Maybe you should be the one making infomercial bits.
They don't have to. I mean, they don't have to get rid of Jeffrey Simmons.
No.
Like, they have all the leverage. They could say, fine, we'll keep him. But if you want to trade for Jeffrey Simmons, here's what it's going to cost you. And I don't think it would be a great move to trade away Jeffrey Simmons when he is really the only star player you have on this team. He's the only guy that teams have to game plan around consistently.
And he'll let you know about that one.
But
too.
if you could get quality draft capital in return that can help you accelerate this rebuild, I wouldn't be completely against it.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't actively put him on the trading block and say, we have to trade him as soon as possible in order to get competitive, because that's just not how it works. I kind of would liken this to a Derrick Henry situation in some sorts. The Titans, would you bet, have been okay if they traded Derrick Henry?
Yes, but I think the relationship, you knew it was ending at that point.
I mean, yeah, it's a little bit different. Throw relationships aside. From a skill level on that team, there was no need for them to really trade Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Because he was a key part of that offense, regardless.
And you had a young quarterback who was playing at that point. And also, like, Derrick Henry, running backs aren't going to fetch as much value. It's like, yeah, could you have gotten maybe a 3rd-round pick for Derrick Henry at the deadline? Maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe.
The values are a little bit different. But the president I'm trying to compare it to is the same.
But it was an expiring contract, too, for Derrick Henry, where it's like you're getting him for a rental. Anyone who trades for Jeff Simmons, yes, you have to take on the money, but you're getting Jeff Simmons still in his prime for this year and 2 more. So like that's where you could get more value. I don't think they're going to do it. Like, if I had to guess, I think Jeffrey Simmons is here through the end of this year at the very least. But would it shock me if they traded him at the deadline? No, it would just have to be.
It would have to be a knock your socks off kind of deal.
It's the Barry Trotz, UC Soros thing. Like, I'll trade him if somebody comes and knocks my socks off. And
obviously no one did.
No one did for UC Soros. I would doubt that someone does for Jeffrey Simmons.
Unless, like you said, we will give you a 1st this year and a 3rd.
It's like if Jerry Jones calls you up and is like, hey, yeah, we'll give you a 1st, a 3rd, and a 6th for Jeffrey Simmons.
And Kenny Clark.
And Kenny Clark.
We just got him.
Here you go.
But he's not stopping the run like we want to.
Very unlikely that is going to happen, though. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. We'd love to hear from you. Our phone line's driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Jake Lyman, Connor Newt, Parker Kelly. We are broadcasting live from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Coming up next, time to talk Vandy and Alabama. Maybe the biggest game in Vanderbilt football history. I know there are others out there back in the James Franklin days, the Bobby Johnson days, and, back towards the, 100 years ago. But a massive, massive game tomorrow in Tuscaloosa. Game day is in town. Vandy can move to 6-0 and possibly be a top 10 team in the country. Can they get it done? How do they get it done? We'll talk about it coming up next as we start up the final hour on this Friday show. Jake Lyman, Connor Newt, Parker Kelly, next man up here on 102.5 The Game. Final hour on this Friday. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Connor Newt, Parker Kelly, broadcasting live from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. We spent hour number 1 with Max Hers talking Preds. We talked Titans in hour number 2. But the biggest event of the weekend is Vanderbilt in Alabama. College game day in Tuscaloosa. The number 16th ranked Commodores 5-0 on the season, taking on Alabama, the number 10 team in the country, fresh off of a win at Georgia. Massive game. Vanderbilt with a win puts themselves, I say, right at the front of the line when it comes to playoff contenders. Not saying like number 1, but in terms of how many more wins they need to put themselves in playoff contention, they're right there.
Yeah.
Like, you need 10 wins to get in. With their schedule, you could maybe even make an argument that 9 would be.
Yeah, because they're hitting the rough patch of their schedule.
9 would put them in that Alabama, Ole Miss, South Carolina tier from last year, and none of those teams got in. So I think 9 and 3, likely you aren't going to get in. But
depends on your resume.
There's at least a conversation, right? Like if they beat Texas on the road,
yeah,
and their 3 losses are Alabama, LSU, and Tennessee, maybe there's a chance. But you need 10 to feel good. This would be a huge one to put you in a spot where you have some leeway, you've got some cushion heading into the back half of your schedule. It's not going to be easy, but Vandy and Alabama going to be an awesome game tomorrow in Tuscaloosa.
Oh, I agree. I can't wait. The other, I mean, I'm looking at a 21.5 point spread against my team. So this is probably my most anticipated game of the week. I think it's going to be close. I think both teams have had this game circled since the game last year went final for different reasons, of course. Like Vanderbilt is, all right, we did it once. We want to do it again. And that's where all this talking has come from a certain quarterback.
Hey, I mean,
but hey, he backs it up.
And Diego is just throwing it back. It was Ryan Williams who said, we're going to kill an ant with a sledgehammer.
He did.
And that ant's looking pretty big after 5 weeks.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, Alabama's going to come in ready. I have zero doubt about that.
Out for blood.
I think Alabama last year viewed the trip to Vanderbilt as a vacation to Nashville where they had a little bit of work to do.
Yeah.
And they got punched in the mouth and they weren't able to dig out of it. The difference for Alabama this year is, maybe they're going to be prepared, but guess what? Vandy's better this year.
Yeah.
They've got more talent. They can match up better on the line of scrimmage with Alabama. I'm going to save my final judgment for what I think is going to happen in this game for our Monday headline segment coming up at 11:30.
Which kind of tells me I already know where you're going.
But this is one of those games where I feel like it's a toss-up. I really do. And it's strange to me that the line is double digits.
I don't want to say it's a toss-up because I think what's the word I'm looking for? I think it's a little bit more swayed in the favor of the Crimson Tide, and maybe rightfully so, because I think on paper, you said it earlier with Max, they are a talent collective. They have so much talent on their roster, but you look at Vanderbilt and they are a team.
Yep.
They're brothers. They are united and they play well together because they've been together for so long and they're so experienced. And that's just kind of the world we live in college football right now. What I'm looking at the most is the comparison of last year's quarterback matchup to this year's. I think Ty Simpson is more of a quarterback-esque player. Jalen Milroe could not throw the ball. Well, he could, but he couldn't throw it accurately. He was kind of just running around. Ty Simpson can actually throw the ball. It's a matter of can his receivers play the way that they're supposed to play. Ryan Williams has been down this year. And then you have other guys. Jeremy Bernard has been kind of a revolution for them coming out of Washington. They've got the talent at the wide receiver position, and they have it on offense. That is a monstrous offensive line. And Caden Proctor is wide receiver 1 on that team also. As you saw him against Georgia.
Caden Proctor catching the screen as the huge tackle. Big boy was rumbling down there. It was sad he couldn't get into the end zone.
I don't want to say this as a disrespect to Vanderbilt because I've grown to love this team. I really have. As a Kentucky guy, I have grown to be very entertained and very invested on how this Vanderbilt team plays because it's good for us and it's good for the city and it's a great story. That said, I'm kind of looking at this as maybe last year was a fluke. And that's no discredit to what they did or what I think they could possibly come in and do next year. But Alabama, maybe not the same Alabama, but it's still Alabama.
Yes. I mean, they have 5-star recruits backing up 5-star recruits.
Yes.
Like, that's Alabama. The talent level in terms of just what these guys are athletically and size-wise, typically, that's advantage Alabama. But I think Vandy has closed that gap. And again, I think Clark Lee could get every single man on that roster to run through a brick wall for him. Like, it just feels like that team is so dedicated to this vision that they have. And I'm not saying that wins a football game, right? Like, you still have to go play and you have to execute. But Vandy's not going to be scared. This is their third road trip. All of them have been to pretty highly regarded atmospheres.
Mhm.
I know. I mean,
It's the SEC.
right. I mean, well, Virginia Tech. Not saying that Virginia Tech is Death Valley, but like all three of those places, including Alabama, are known as a tough place to go play. So they've already done it twice. I don't know if that's going to be as much of a factor, but you are right that Ty Simpson, I think a lot of people just kind of made their judgments about him after Florida State because he did look a little rattled in that Florida State game, especially once they went down.
Dynamic ever since.
69% completion percentage, 1,100 yards, 9 yards per attempt, 11 touchdowns, 0 picks. Like that.
That's Heisman stuff, right?
Right. Like, he has been that good since that Florida State game. And I really think that Vandy has a good chance to win this game, but I do agree with you that Ty Simpson has been a better quarterback than Jalen Milroe, and that is going to be a difference in this game. Mike says, y'all get off the radio, go down to Tuscaloosa, anchor down. I wish.
Yeah, I'd love to go.
I had thought about going down to Tuscaloosa and helping out with the Vandy radio broadcast, but didn't work out this weekend. I will be watching on TV. I'm very glad.
Women, am I right?
Yeah.
Tell everybody about your predicament tomorrow.
Well, so it was a predicament. It's gotten a little bit better. So I was thinking the Tigers, their game 1 of the ALDS was going to be at the same time as the Vanderbilt game. Like 2:30 kickoff for Vandy, first pitch of the Tigers game, there was a chance it was going to be at 3. But because of the Yankees win last night, the Tigers are now at 7:30. So that's nice. I am going to Oktoberfest tomorrow. At least that's
so you're gonna have some schnitzel?
Yeah, some pretzels.
Some schnitzel?
Schnitzel.
So going to Oktoberfest, and I think we're going right around the time the Vandy game starts. So I may be just like walking around holding my phone, watching the game.
Just don't get 2 sheets to the wind.
Yeah.
I know they got some draft out there. Just be careful.
We'll be okay. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. Big game, Vanderbilt, Alabama, coming up tomorrow. That is a 2:30 kick. Make sure you listen in not right here, 94.9 The Fan, but on the Game Nashville Sports Network. That is a 1 o'clock pregame with Andrew, Kevin, and Norm. Vandy trying to get to 6-0 and head into the bye week. I've said it all week, but if Vandy wins, game day has to come here for LSU, right? Unless LSU loses to...
Yeah, so I can go out there and do the weekend huddle from there.
LSU plays South Carolina next week. So if LSU is coming off a 2-game losing streak, they may not come here. But I think if Vandy wins this game tomorrow, there is a really good chance that game day is in Nashville on October 18th.
I mean, well, that's going to be a predicament because Ole Miss is at Georgia that week.
But they just went to Georgia, right? Or
Tennessee is at Alabama. Texas Tech
Alabama
will be
right
at
now.
Arizona State.
There's some good games, but I think a chance to come to Nashville. Like, they go to Athens every single year. And Tennessee, Alabama, yes, is the same, but they're at Alabama this week.
How often do you get to go to Nashville for a Vanderbilt game?
Right.
And it's a nationally televised event.
Yeah.
I don't even want to say game, event.
I would love it. I would love for them to come in, but we will see.
I don't even know how to respond to that.
Dustin sent a long text about Robbie and Rexroad, but he subbed fart for another word a lot of times.
That's what Joe does.
Yes. I guess he's saying that the Vols are being they're overlooking Vandy a little bit, which I have seen too. It's like, hey, Tennessee fans, you have to start to live with the reality that if Vanderbilt wins tomorrow, Vanderbilt will be ranked higher than Tennessee on Sunday afternoon.
Yep.
Like, I'm sorry, like you have to start to live with the idea that there's a chance that you're not just playing for a playoff spot in Neyland Stadium on November 29th. That Vandy is too. You have to start living with that. Vandy's not the same little brother that you've called them for years. Like Vandy is a legit team. They're 5-0, and they have a chance to put themselves right into the national spotlight tomorrow against Alabama. Again,
and be the first SEC team this season to clinch bowl eligibility.
Yes, to clinch bowl eligibility on October 4th.
That is wild
Crazy.
to think about.
Crazy. From a team that lost 10 straight games 2 years ago.
That is with the same head coach.
Yep. Clark Lee and Jerry Kill and Tim Beck and Diego Pavia and everybody involved over there. They have bet Barton Simmons, the GM. They've done an unbelievable job. And tomorrow feels like it could be the culmination of like, hey, they've been climbing. They're on the national scene. You can finally break down the door with a win tomorrow. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. We'll keep talking Vandy on the other side. We'll also give our Monday headlines coming up at 11:30. What will we be talking about after this weekend of football? Jake Lyman, Connor Newt, Parker Kelly with you on this Friday morning. Next Man Up, 1025 The Game. I didn't think we were going to be getting One Direction today.
I miss One Direction. They got some good stuff, man.
They did. It was those songs that as a middle schooler and high schooler you were embarrassed to listen to, but
I'm not embarrassed.
it was like a guilty pleasure song.
Be proud.
I'm proud. I'm proud to be an American.
Tomorrow's college football game of the week is Clemson versus North Carolina at 11 a.m. on Sports Talk 830, presented by Twin Peaks Restaurants and Circa Sportsbook Kentucky. Coverage also available on the Game Nashville app and at thegamenashville.com. Jake Lyman, Connor Newt, Parker Kelly with you. A few more segments left in the show. We are previewing Vanderbilt in Alabama tomorrow, 2:30 from Tuscaloosa. Game day in town. Vandy looking to get to 6-0. If you have thoughts on the game, you can text or call 615-737-1025. Our phone line's driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Here's a thought, though. I was looking through, and the odds to make the playoffs are still not in Vanderbilt's favor. They've got a gauntlet of a schedule to get through the rest of the way.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to play at Alabama, at Texas, at Tennessee. You've got 2 top 20 teams in LSU and Missouri coming in later this month to Nashville. Auburn's been pretty good. Kentucky's in there too.
Thanks for saying that nicely.
They've
Basketball starts this month. I'm excited.
There you go. They've got a gauntlet of a schedule to get through, but a win here feels like it could flip that. Because I looked, and the odds right now for Vandy to make the playoff, I think we're like plus 375, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So I think that puts it at like I don't know, all the gambling like percentage, like 20% is something. Or
you're asking the wrong
somewhere
guy.
Around there. Like I don't. Yeah,
I don't bet.
Yeah, neither do I. But
Wonder why?
Yeah,
no reason.
There might be. Yes, I don't know what the percentage is. I think that it means like 15 to 20%.
Hold on, we're getting white girl music slander right now, and I'm not going to stand for it.
That music comes from England. Chip from Mount Juliet says, "Play some rock." Not sure where this music comes from.
I'll play rock tonight.
Play one.
Yeah, we'll play rock tonight
from 8 to 11.
Yeah,
on the Game Blitz here on 102.5 The Game.
White Girl Friday, and Chip has to understand that.
Yeah, listen into the Game Blitz with Connor and Parker tonight. Where was I? If they win this game, though, I was looking at it, and Vandy can go 4-2 down the stretch and make the playoffs. And I think that would be pretty safe to say. They go 4-2. You got LSU, Missouri, at Texas, Kentucky, Auburn, at Tennessee. Is it a stretch to say that Vandy would be more likely than not to win 4 out of those 6 games? Again, anything can happen.
I think it's possible.
Injuries, but like you look at that, if they win tomorrow, if they can beat Missouri, Kentucky, and Auburn at home, which I think are all games they will either be favored in or it'll be like a 2-point spread the other way. And then you just win one of LSU, Texas, Tennessee. And like LSU and Texas, their offenses haven't looked that great. Even if you lose both those games, you still head to Neyland with a chance to clinch a playoff spot. Like a win tomorrow flips this from a fun story of Vanderbilt starting 5-0 and ranked in the top 22. This team could legitimately make the playoffs.
No, I agree with you. I think the resume would speak for itself if you get 4 wins of those 6, or even obviously beyond that. LSU, I think, is getting a lot more love than they should. It's weird how their narrative has kind of flipped, because when Jaden Daniels was the quarterback, it was they have an electric offense and an awful defense.
First to 50 wins.
Yeah. Now it is, if they score 20 points in a game, they're lucky.
Yeah.
It is weird how that has flipped. So I think they are the most Brian Kelly team of all time. Brian Kelly is a glorified James Franklin. Let's just be honest here.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't love LSU, and it's like their big wins that they've had all look less impressive as the weeks go along.
Clemson has 1 win on the entire season.
And it was against Troy, who they were down 2 scores to at halftime.
Yeah.
Like that Clemson win, yeah, it was a top 5 win when it happened, but does it look all that impressive anymore? Florida, they can't seem to score anything with DJ Lagway.
But they have a good defense.
They do have a good defense. So, like, LSU at home, I think LSU is going to be favored in that game.
Yeah.
But that's not a game Vandy can't win. At Texas, do we believe that Arch Manning can outscore any? I mean, Vandy's scoring 49 points a game. Like,
yeah. The thing about Texas is Ever since that Ohio State game, they've played Sesame Street State. Like they haven't played anyone. So I don't really know what they're made of because I've only seen them in the first game of the season on the road in one of the toughest places to play in all of college football.
That is true. Like the Ohio State game was front and center for everyone to see, and then they've kind of faded back to the SEC Network Plus and played Sam Houston State, UTEP, and who was the other one?
It was it UTEP?
It was Sam Houston State, UTEP, and San Jose State.
Yes,
that's what it was.
Yes,
yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, they have not played anybody all that challenging. They do have the Red River rivalry coming up next week against Oklahoma. Game day likely going to be there. Do we have Oregon, Indiana next week too? That sounds right. That'll be a fun game too.
Which,
top 10
quick
matchup.
Sidebar: did you watch the behind the scenes of Dan Lanning in Oregon at Penn State?
No.
Oh my God! So Penn State does the "We Are"
right.
They started doing it while Oregon's in the tunnel, and Dan turns around to the team. He goes, "We are about to kick their ass."
Add another one to the counter.
It was so good. And then he made a John Cena reference, and I popped.
I really do like Dan Lanning. Like
my favorite coach in all.
I think
football.
He has gone over there and he's turned Oregon into an SEC team. Like coming over from Georgia as their defensive coordinator.
Not like Coach Newt would though.
I love Dan Lanning. I think he is going to get Oregon to a national championship. Like at some point. I'm not saying this year, but I think at some point. I know when we made our picks, I'm forgetting. Did I pick Oregon to win it all? No.
I don't know. They don't matter.
I think I picked LSU. No, I picked Georgia.
Preseason predictions don't matter. Ask Connor and
it's like whose line is it anyway, where the points don't matter and the results aren't taken?
Yes, I picked Georgia. Nick Frazier, I think, picked Oregon. So
don't take Nick Frazier's predictions with anything.
Yeah, do we need to get Nick on here to?
Dude had Minnesota Vikings winning.
He's right here. If you want to talk to him.
Yeah, Nick.
No.
What's your boy Kyler's stat line going to be today? Or on Sunday?
Kyler's about to have a generational game. He's going to make the Titans look like the Cleveland Browns.
There you go.
They're even worse already.
You and Max Hers, you're on the Kyler train.
Kyler Murray, I'm calling the stat line now. I don't like doing stat lines. He has 270, 2 touchdowns, and 45 yards rushing.
Wow. Get it while you can.
Call of fantasy this week.
Wow. Get it while you can. Call of Duty comes out in a couple weeks.
Generational. Nick Frazier with a cameo on the show. And he's on with us on Tuesdays if you want more of that. Yeah, he's a big Kyler guy. There's his Monday headline. Kyler Murray dices up the Titans.
Kyler Murray is inevitable.
He's generational.
I mean,
best quarterback I've ever seen play.
Sure. Yeah. He looks funny running around back there when he gets kind of loose in the pocket, but I don't know. We're gonna make our Monday headlines coming up next. I have some thoughts on the Titans game. I don't know if I can pick them to win. Like, can we all agree that no one's picking the Titans to win until we see them win a game?
As Jim Harbaugh would say, nobody.
Yep. I will not be picking the Titans to win, but I do have a we'll call it an optimistic take for the Titans on what they could do on Sunday without.
They're going to complete a forward pass, everyone.
They will complete more than 50% of their passes. Bold take.
Book it.
Yeah. No, we will make our Monday headlines coming up next. We will pick a Titans headline. What are we going to be talking about after the game on Sunday? Will it be good for the Titans? Will it be bad for the Titans? We'll also get to do one kind of open-ended one, whether it's college football, whether it's the NFL. We are going to try and predict what happens over the weekend. I have been horrible at this. Parker has been good at this so far. So we will see if I can get some redemption.
I have a risky one coming up.
I said last week that Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon was going to play and play well. Well, he did not see the field. So there we go. I'll see if I can do a little bit better.
I have no idea what I'm going to do here, so I get about 3 minutes.
Yep, you got about 3 or 4 minutes to figure it out. We'll take a break. We'll be right back after this. Jake Lyman, Connor Newt, Parker Kelly, next man up, 102.5 The Game.
Bye.
That's a good one, Parker. I like this one. Sean Kingston
JB.
and Justin Bieber.
He's
Eeny,
like-
meeny, miny, mo.
He's like 10 here.
Yeah, this one was old. Like, I think I was.
Dude, this was like, I'm going to make everyone feel so old. This
Yeah,
was like
you're gonna.
second grade.
That's crazy. That is crazy. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. It is time for Monday headlines. You're on Next Man Up 1025 The Game. We're going to try and be Nostradamus here with this football weekend. What will we be talking about on Monday?
I don't know what that word means.
Nostradamus. It's like a guy who could predict the future.
The Oracle.
Yeah, something like
vision.
that. Yeah, like it's from some sort of mythology, I think.
Oh, okay.
We could be sounding really stupid right now. I'm waiting for the text of like, you idiots don't even know. But we're going to try and predict what happens this weekend. Let's start with a Titans headline. What we'll be talking about on Monday from the Titans game. Connor Newt, do you have any thoughts?
Okay.
Let's hear it.
I think they play a clean game of football.
Wow.
I think
What does that mean?
they have under 5 penalties.
Okay. Turnovers?
None.
None. Wow.
Nada.
All right. So you're thinking this is a.
Do I think they win? Absolutely not.
No,
But
I will not pick them to win. I will go with another like specific player for my Monday headline. I did this with Chim Dike a couple weeks ago, said that he was going to return a kick for a touchdown. That didn't happen. I also looked for Calvin Ridley to have a big game against the Rams, and that didn't happen. So, who am I cursing today? Gunnar Helm. I think this is the Gunnar Helm breakout game for the Titans. I'll go. He has at least 4 catches for 50-plus yards and a touchdown.
you're a bold man.
I'm not going to say that he has like the greatest tight end game of all time, but I think this is the Gunnar Helm breakout game. He makes a couple of big third down catches, and he gets into the end zone for the first time in his Titans career. Parker, what is your Titans Monday headline?
So I predicted last week that the Texans would win the game and the under would hit, and it did because the Titans did not score a single point.
It's a lot easier to hit the under when only one team is scoring
Exactly. And would you look at here? The over-under is set at 42.5 for the Titans in Arizona. Way too high. Way too high. I'm taking the under once again, and I'll take it a step further. The Titans will be 0-6 when good old Mike Vrabel comes to town.
So you're doing Monday headlines for the next 2 weeks and saying Titans go.
I'll have a different one for next Monday.
Okay.
I just wanted to take it a step further. They'll be 0-6 when Mike Vrabel comes to town.
So Parker Kelly being not just pessimistic for this week, but also for next week, saying that Titans go 0 on the road trip.
Sorry, this is off topic. I'm looking at spreads for college football. Your Hokies are favored by 6.5 over Wake Forest.
Over Wake, who almost beat Georgia Tech last week.
Wake's actually kind of decent in the ACC.
Their quarterback's hurt, though.
Yeah, that's true.
The Hokies have kind of figured this out, right?
Uh-oh.
Philip Montgomery.
Got a little boost.
Philip Montgomery of Virginia Tech coaches with minimum 2 games coached. He has the highest winning percentage.
You can see that game on the CW right after reruns of The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, love it. Love it. 7285 says less than 5 penalties and 0 turnovers is unreasonably bold.
Swing for the fences, pal.
Especially with what we've seen from the Titans so far this year. All right, so Titans Monday headlines. Connor's saying they play a clean game, less than 5 penalties, 0 turnovers. Those are very high bars to cross for this team. I'm going to say Gunnar Helm breakout game. He's got 4 catches, 50 yards, and a touchdown. And Parker Kelly not only picking the Titans to lose this week, but also next week. And he says going to be a low-scoring game. Let's go open-ended. This could be college football. This could be NFL. I will start us up here. I said I was going to do something with the Vandy game. Monday headline, Diego Pavia stakes his claim to the Heisman Trophy. Obviously, it's not sealed, but he moves himself up to the Heisman favorite with his performance on Saturday, and Vandy beats Alabama in Tuscaloosa.
I can't say I agree with you there, but
I think
each their own.
I'm going to say Pavia goes for, let's say, like 250 yards through the air and 3 touchdowns, 50 yards on the ground and another touchdown. Vandy beats Alabama.
See, I think it's going to be very close, but I think Alabama backdoor covers.
Okay.
That's just me. And that's no disrespect to Vanderbilt. I'm not an Alabama fan. So
Yeah.
that's just, if I'm calling it right down the line,
No, it's fair.
that's how I feel.
I mean, the spread is what, 10 for a reason? Like, clearly there are people who believe in Alabama. I'm not one of them. I believe in Vanderbilt this weekend. Dylan Antioch asked, wait, second grade, how old are you guys? I was about to graduate college. I am young, but I'm not as young as Connor.
Yeah, I'm a baby.
Yeah, Connor,
I'm currently about to graduate college.
yeah, I graduated college a few years ago. Connor, what is your open-ended Monday headline?
Can I give you a hockey one?
Oh, yeah, go hockey. There are no
Please.
rules.
On Monday, I believe the Nashville Predators will announce that 5th overall pick, Brady Martin, has made the opening day roster.
I like it. I mean, we talked with Max, and you were right to bring this up when Max was on, that 2 weeks ago today, we had Max on when we were over at Preds training camp, and the overwhelming sentiment was there's a lot that Brady Martin has to do just to make the roster. Like, he's got to beat out a lot of people. It's not going to be easy. And now it's like, hey, he might be your top line winger. And Max said he'd play center during play, but not take.
But
faceoffs.
O'Reilly takes the draws. Yeah.
Right. So he might be on your top line to start it off. And he has the 9 games. You get to see how he plays. But Brady Martin clearly has made a good impression during his time.
Now, if this is announced on Tuesday, I'm going to rain hell on the Nashville Predators.
Well, no, it's fine.
organization.
It's fine. We call it Monday headlines, but it can be, if it comes to fruition, it comes to fruition. You just got to wait.
And if it does, it's because I said so.
Parker Kelly, give us your Monday headline. College football, NFL, what you got?
I'm going to college football because, of course.
Really?
Now, Vanderbilt and Alabama has been getting a lot of attention on these airwaves, rightfully so. We broadcast out of Middle Tennessee, but another game that's not getting as much love that I wanted to shed some light on.
Navy
Texas,
Air Force.
Nope.
Sorry.
Not yet. Texas at Florida. Now, here's an interesting stat for you. Texas is the 103rd ranked team in terms of third down offense, and Florida is 123rd. Both of these teams have been very sloppy. The over-under is set at 41.5. Texas is favored by 6.5. Everyone just assumes that Texas is going to win this football game, but what they don't realize is they've been very undisciplined in terms of penalties, and going to the swamp doesn't make a team more disciplined. Now, I am going to take Texas to win this game, but Florida's going to cover, and this one's going to be dangerously close.
All right, man, you're believing in Sunbelt Billy. I mean, I
don't think the players have given up on him yet. Everybody else has. I don't think the players have.
So if you're saying it's going to be a close game, if it's not a close game, let's say Texas wins by 3 touchdowns, does Billy Napier have a job on Monday?
No.
I would say no.
Welcome back, Steve Spurrier. Not actually.
Urban Meyer.
That'd be criminal.
Yeah, I don't know if they can bring him back. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. Do you have predictions for Monday? Monday headlines. What could happen over the weekend? Football, we've done hockey, could be anything. We'd love to hear from you. Our phone lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. So for the Titans, Connor going clean game for the Titans in Arizona, but they still lose. I've got Gunnar Helm having a decent day, and Parker is just completely out on the Titans, then has them losing these next 2 games. In our open-ended ones, I'm going with Vandy to beat Alabama. Diego Pavia establishes himself as a Heisman candidate. Connor Newt has Brady Martin making the opening day roster for the Preds. And Parker has Florida keeping it close with Texas in the swamp. Again, you can give yours 615-737-1025. Going to be a good weekend of football. I mean, I know
underrated.
Tennessee's on a bye week, and they're Florida State Miami is the late game, which looked like a huge game last week, but then Florida State loses to Virginia, and it's like, maybe Miami's going to win it. But that is in Tallahassee. That one should be a good game too.
Does that one come on after One Tree Hill on the CW?
No, that one is the primetime game on ABC.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Not all ACC games are between reruns of the Gilmore Girls and Pretty Little Liars.
Pretty Little Liars is an ABC show, thank you.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Gossip Girl and One Tree Hill and 90210. I have no idea.
Sure.
615-737-1025 is the phone number. We got one more segment before we hand you off to Chase and Big Joe. We'll go through a couple of final Titans thoughts coming up next. Jake Lyman, Connor Newt, Parker Kelly, next man up, 1025 The Game.
Well done.
Yeah, that's a good way to finish it, Parker.
I told him he's got to come out with a bang.
I remember this from like Little League baseball. This was like like the summer that this song came out. It was such a
2011, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I was 7.
Do you remember the I forget, it was a college baseball team. It was an Ivy League team, I think. Harvard, Yale. One of them did a lip sync video of that on their way to a game that went viral. I think it was Harvard.
What a great song. What was that? Carly Rae Jepsen. She had like
it was Harvard baseball.
She had like 2 major songs, and then we never heard from her again.
Yeah, she did the one with the Fireflies guy.
Yeah,
that was pretty popular.
Owl City.
Owl City. What was that song called?
Well, it's always a good time.
There we go.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
That was the 2-hit wonder for Carly.
Maybe next Friday.
Carly Rae Jepsen.
We never saw her again.
Well done. Titans hoping they can be a 1-hit wonder and get a win on Sunday. Was that good? Was that bad?
Yeah,
it was pretty bad.
That was a dad joke for sure.
Nice one, Mickey.
I'm sure Chip appreciated that one.
Yes. I think the Titans, they need a win desperately. I mean, you've lost 10 straight. They're 0-4. Brian Callahan's 3-18. You need a win bad. I don't know if it's going to happen this week. I was a little more optimistic heading into the week about this game, but looks like Latham's out again. He hasn't practiced this week, which is
a big problem.
Yeah, you would expect Ole Udoh's going to be starting at right tackle again. Calvin Ridley also hasn't practiced either of the last 2 days. I think there was reports he was working on a side field yesterday, but he was a DNP for the second straight day. Chance there's no Calvin Ridley.
Better be on that
Sunday.
jugs machine for 2 straight hours.
Yeah, I mean, no Calvin Ridley, no JC Latham. Maybe you get Tajay Spears back. Maybe. And is that really that? Like, I think it could help, but I would much rather not have Tajay Spears back than lose Calvin Ridley and JC Latham for another game. Like, you need those guys to be healthy and out there to help your quarterback. So I'm not feeling super optimistic, especially if those 2 key players aren't out on the field again, which, if you don't practice the first 2 days, usually you don't end up playing. Ridley, I would say there's a chance he plays. I'd even say 50-50. Latham at this point, he's not playing.
I mean, that's a problem, right? It's a second-year guy, and he's missed this much time with a hip injury, and it's a problem.
Well, it seems like, based on what everyone has said, that this isn't like a pain maintenance thing. It's not or pain tolerance. It's not
like a stabilization,
right?
thing.
Like, it's not something that he can't play with. It's the issue of how quick can you put him back out there and have him not re-aggravated? Because if he re-aggravates it, that's an IR stint on baseball mode. That's an IR stint where you lose him for at least another month and basically takes the wheels off of his sophomore season. So they want to make sure that he is good, he is ready to go, and isn't going to have any more flare-ups with that hip. So I think, like, could he play on Sunday? Yes. But I think they're slow playing it just to make sure that he's 100% ready to go.
Yeah, and it makes sense. But I feel you need to have him out there because he's the best your offensive line has to offer from a ceiling standpoint, and probably right now from a talent standpoint. Peter Skoronski's been playing very
right.
well.
I mean, Skoronski and Latham are your 2 best, but you need your best tackle on the field, right? Like, with Dan Moore playing the way that he has, Dan Moore and Ole Udoh isn't a great tackle pair. Latham and Moore can be a serviceable tackle pair because Latham, when he's healthy, is a really good player.
I've convinced on the Dan Moore front, I've convinced myself he'll play this year. He'll play next year. He will not be here when the stadium
Well,
opens.
right. It's like if you look at that contract,
they have an out after 2.
Yeah, with 0 dead cap. Like,
yeah,
most of the time you structure those deals so you have a palatable out after year 2 of like, oh man, we can cut him. It'll save us 15 in cap, and maybe we have to pay 9 in dead cap. There's 0 dead cap if you cut him after his second year, which
you lose.
It's basically
nothing.
a 2-year deal.
Yeah.
And we were talking with TD yesterday, and he's kind of on the same page as Dan Moore is the Band-Aid at tackle right now. And over the next 2 drafts, you hope maybe you trade back, you pick up an extra first-round pick, and you can use it and go get the successor who ends up being your left tackle in the future.
It's a short-term fix for a long-term problem. And you could even put the term fix in quotations because Dan Moore has not played to the level of the contract you signed him to.
For sure. And likely, if the Titans offensive line figures it out, he's still the worst player of those 5, but he's just got to be capable, and he can't be getting Cam Ward crushed. And the good news is the sacks have gone down in every single game. 6-5, 4-2. So we're looking at 1 or 0 on Sunday
We're going
if the
down.
trend keeps going. So we'll see. But no, I don't have high hopes for this game on Sunday. 3:00 kick. Arizona is, and I brought this up earlier this week, Arizona is coming off the mini bye. They played Thursday night last week. They didn't have to travel at all. So they're going to be rested. They're going to be ready. I'm not optimistic they win this game, but I'll say it again that like you have to win a game at some point. Like I'm not going to pick them to win a game because right now they might be the worst team in football.
Yeah.
But
ain't no might. They are.
And
I mean, I heard you and Frazier talk
Titans,
about this
Saints,
earlier.
Jets. It's like, yeah, would I pick the Titans as the worst team in football right now? Probably.
Jets are pretty damn bad.
The Jets are bad. Well, the Saints, at the very least, they put up points against Buffalo. So right now, yeah, the Titans might be the worst team in football. So no one's going to expect them to win. But this is the NFL. You have to win games. You have these guys are all getting paid. They're all professionals. This team needs to show up and win a game. And I say it has to happen this week or next week, because if you're 0-6 heading into the Patriots game, I think that's when the season just falls off a cliff.
Yeah.
It can go deeper, I promise you.
Yeah, it's it can always get worse. And right now it feels like rock bottom, but at least you have positive things moving forward. You think you have a good quarterback that you can develop. You've got young pieces, sort of. I think Kevin Winston, once we see some of him, I think he's going to be a bright spot. But I know we kind of focus on the moment right now. And to be honest with you, I'm really tired about talking with the Titans. I'm sick of talking about how bad they are and yet another loss. And I feel like we're going to be doing the same thing next week. So.
No, it's tough. I want to talk about football, actual football. Like we should be spending these Friday shows talking about matchups and how can L'Jarius Sneed shut down Marvin Harrison Jr. and like what's the matchup going to be like with the pass rushers against the Titans tackles. Like we should be talking actual football.
I'm tired of big picture stuff.
But that's all we can do, because at this point, do the games really matter?
Yes and no.
Yeah, they do. They do in some ways.
They matter to that coach.
But it's like we're not talking about this game of like, all right, you're playing the Cardinals. If you win this game, you put yourself in a really good spot, coming out of the road trip, all this stuff. I want to talk about football again. I want to be able to bring guests on and like preview games, like bring in a Cardinals reporter. And I know we could do that. But
I already did that this week, pal.
Who do people really care about like how the Titans match up on paper with the Cardinals this week?
Well, if you want to hear that, listen to Talking with TD, available on Apple and Spotify.
There you go. Yeah, there's your X's and O's talk, because it's just like whether they're 1-4 or 0-5 in terms of this season, it doesn't matter. The season's over. But like, yes, for the long term of the franchise, you want to see the young guys play better. So anyway, little rant there to end the show about just like, can we win a game? Can the Titans just go out and win a game?
Can we please win a game?
So
for the love of God.
We can have some like actually different conversations, because every time they lose a game, it's the same stuff about when's the coach getting fired and all this kind of stuff. So anyway,
the saying, same bleep, different day.
Yep. We'll see if Monday is any different.
To end the show, do we think Kentucky covers against Georgia?
No.
Way to put it bluntly there, Jake.
Lots of college football tomorrow. Again, Vanderbilt, Alabama on 94.9 The Fan, 2:30 kick, 1 o'clock pregame. Make sure you tune in for that. Vandy looking to get to 6-0. Titans taking on the Cardinals, 3:05 kick on Sunday. We will be back on Monday to recap it all. Excited for that at 9 a.m. on Monday. Chase and Big Joe are coming up next here on 102.5 The Game.